All right. And so, yes, a lot is going on today within this little corner of dysfunctional people that I'm aware of through commenting on one of these dysfunctional people's videos 2 years ago, going on three in the, what, when will it be 3 years? Because that's the cutoff, you guys. You know that? Did you know that that was the time I picked? When I saw the depth of what was going on with all of the turtle face trolling matched with the little, he bitch kennel that he tries to drag around and manipulate, matched with all of the females that they try to throw in the middle of their circle jerk, matched with all of the personalities, the range of level of education, level of common sense, because common sense and education are not the same thing, level of oh god, just morality, really, because there are some people, of course, within this circle that have like absolutely no sense of I don't know, couth, etiquette. They don't have any social graces, and this is part of what makes them the type of outcasts that have to really, really treasure, this type of interaction, because it's generally the most interaction that they get. um, so there's a lot going on within, yes, the little circle, the little circus of rejects, and there's a lot going on in the world outside of them and outside of their petty concerns. And I'm thinking that it's a really tough time for people who don't have any confidence. It's a really tough time for people who don't have any education, because it is valuable, even though education is not common sense. Yes, tough time for people who do not have common sense, because common sense can trump education in many a circumstance. Uh, Gosh, it's a hard time for people who, yeah, are not confident, who feel weak. It's a tough time for them because survival of the fittest, right? The fittest is not always the biggest. The fittest is the strongest, and strength can be measured in many ways. There's brute strength, but there's also cunning, which is strength. There's also a great value in adaptability. So I'm thinking that, yes, it's a hard time for people who are not adaptable right now. It's a hard time for people who are not willing to grow or to change or to accept. People who have trouble with accepting things, people who, fight the very sunrise. It's a tough time for them. It's about to get tougher for them. It's about to get tougher for people who are dishonest with themselves about their shortcomings. It's about to get tougher for people who are not compassionate and aware of their surroundings. So, aware of the fact that, you were born fairly helpless once upon a time. It's kind of weird to like not hear myself in regular. I feel like I'm yelling in the house. Okay, but anyway, yeah, it's tough for people who did not have, the benefit of somebody who really cared that they were so helpless. There are people who take advantage of little helpless things. And then there are people who nurture little helpless things. Yeah, it's tough for people who were taken advantage of when they were more helpless because they don't know how to be helpful and therefore cannot be helped. um, it's getting ready to be really, I don't know, like hard in a way that makes them, um, lonely and like cornered animals. It's getting tough out there. The winter's coming. She's coming. Mother is coming for you. She is going to definitely make it tough for people who have no compassion and who are not able to be reached by compassionate people, either by distance, well, by distance that they create, or by distance that is helped by, extenuating circumstances that nobody loves to celebrate, but everybody has a part in this. We all have a part in doing what is best for all involved. So that's kind of why I started this little whatever today. Like, in the past few days, I've been personally busy, so I haven't really been willing to sacrifice the time to speak to the general public about whatever. And the general public that is aware of this particular channel is just not a general public that I feel obligated to. I feel like it's more of like a compassionate thing. Because I can't stand slow people, to tell you the truth. And I'm not talking about people who are developmentally disabled. I'm talking about people who are voluntarily ignorant. I have trouble relating to them. That's why I don't have any for friends. That's why I don't know too many. I don't know too many of you very angry. I don't know any of you. Like, personally, I don't hang out with people who are so damn angry with life that all they can do with the day to bring them joy is to try to bring somebody else sorrow. Is to try to, create civil unrest. That's the way they get their jollies every day. I do not associate with, consort with, work well with, choose to surround myself with that type of person. And I was not raised by that type of person or those type of people. Not to say that my parents were like perfect angel people. No, 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 no. They were human beings, They had their faults and they had their gifts, but they were not unrealistic and they were not harmful. They, were not raising me to be some sort of ungrateful asshole that has to attack people to feel happy. So I do not gravitate towards these types of people easily. But since they are such an opposite to me, they very well reflect, everything in me that I want to extinguish, everything that I don't want to be is certainly clearly shared and reflected in my social nemesis. When I see a person exhibiting a lack of patience and it's unreasonable, I definitely take note of it and I remember not to be that way. It helps. We are all each other's mirrors. One of my favorite songs from an artist named Nico, who sang with the Velvet Underground, part of the, Andy Warhol art pop rock group scene. A lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but a lot of beautiful art and poetry coming out of these people. Nico had a tragic end. Nico was a serious lover of her some heroin, which is awful, because she really like ruined herself that way. And before the heroin set in, she was this tall, blondish, tall blonde German. Yeah, I think her hair was blonde. I don't know if she ever like kept it bleached that way or probably both. Anyway, Nico, this like German tall model, supermodel, impressive for fashion, type of structure to her body. But inside of her was this mourning, deep, soulful poet. And she had this way of singing that was very like lilting and sleepy. So she did this one song with the Velvet Underground called I'll Be Your Mirror. I'll be your mirror, reflect what you are, in case you don't know. And I'll be the wind, the rain and the sunset, the light on your door, to show you a home. When you think the night has seen your mind, that inside you're twisted and unkind, let me stand to show that you are blind. Please put down your hands, 'cause I see you. It was very like ding, 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 ding. I could probably play that on the guitar. She has this very deep voice, yes, and she smoked cigarettes and drank coffee and did heroin and everything else she get hands on probably, because heroin is like down there on the list. Heroin ain't not the gateway drug. So anyway, Miss Nico, said something beautiful in that song. I don't know if she wrote it, but whoever's lyrics those are, I haven't really investigated. Maybe Lou wrote it. Maybe they wrote it together. But I love it. I'll be your mirror, reflect what you are. There's a refrain at the end. I'll be your mirror, reflect what you are. So I think she really had, a good sense of, I don't know, how to go out with a bang. I guess that's, why she did it. A lot of artists are like that, speaking of recently deceased artists going out with bang. But I don't think that it is for all of us to necessarily get into our feelings about other people's choices that don't affect us. And we do have, and we should have, a sort of duty to maybe address in a helpful manner those things that do address us. But I cannot really truly condone or suggest that any of the people that I have come against in this little tiny circle, or who I come against in ideology in the world at large, they're there to reflect what you don't want to be, but as long as you are on and up, you can be down. As long as you're happy, you can be sad. As long as you're healthy, you can be unhealthy. As long as you're strong, you can be weak. As long as you are feminine, you can be masculine. As long as you're masculine, you can be feminine. As long as you are alive on this planet, you're going to experience these things in this, sort of teeter-totter manner until you recognize and become that central inner peace. You need to just understand that no matter what you know about then, or no matter what you worry about tomorrow, about tomorrow and the world, what's going to happen, none of that necessarily affects the now. You affect the now. You do what you wish to do with now. If what you wish to do with now is to celebrate, then do it. If what you wish to do with now is to be destructive, then do it. But there are people who choose to celebrate, who will celebrate in the face of your destruction, in the face of your trying to destroy their celebration. They're going to celebrate again. It's so this and that. I think the struggle is constant and everlasting, and has been since the beginning of us. This sort of have and have not, this give and take, yin yang, up, down, back, forth. It doesn't surprise me when I see it, And to touch on the suggestions from the negative, that the positive is not what it is within the nature of the negative. This is what I want people to understand who are not really quite sure where they fit on that spectrum. And you can look at it, like a spectrum or a timeline, or here's the positive and here's the negative, or vice versa. And there's that center, and there's everything in between. Everybody dancing on that line somehow. You can look at it like a circle. So I'm thinking that there'll be, of course, more chaos. I gotta look up Skim. Skim is a rapper chick that had a Here Come the Chaos. She probably had something prophetic to say in that. There are a lot of people, who look at human nature and study it for what it is and can tell you that, I could see this or that going down based on this or that going down. Good grief. There are warnings. People are constantly warning, and people are constantly not listening. Speaking of the yin yang, like, look, we need to do this. We need 10 of these dams, or once we get one good storm, these people going under. We need to do this. We need to do this. Ignore, 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 ignore. Let's spend our money on something else. Let's spend our money on making sure the administration has these cars to get to and fro. Let's spend our money on making sure that the administration, has the proper commercial, and that the paperwork gets out that changes all of the rules that we're all supposed to follow that are arbitrary, that are just silly. Because the screw-ups, screw it up for the okay people. But okay people can't get lazy on these screw-ups. They are, after all, your children, They're your playmates. They're people that he sees doing the stupid shit. And, choosing not to emulate it is a great way to combat it. And teaching other people to do the same. Wonderful. Giving your examples. I see a lot of people out there right now who are giving their examples. They're giving their examples of how they combat the evil. And I'm very happy that they're out there. Unfortunately, yes, the evil is just so miserable and still, just ever persistent. It continues to do what it must, what is within its nature. So yeah, good people, do what you must. Do what is within your nature. I'm thinking that as long as we have the communication open, and we have our, visionaries, and we have our people who care, that we will be able to continue with some progress, because I'm waiting on some Star Trek love. I'm waiting on some Earl Grey hot. I'm waiting on some, intergalactic issues. We'll all be Earthlings, humans. I mean, surely, I don't know, this day and age, this time, with what I see of people about my age, with the most rejected of us, with what I see, and the numbers of those of us who are just choosing to be ignorant rather than, or complacent, rather than active, or rather than reactionary. From what I see, I don't see in my generation, the technology and environment manipulation being able to excel beyond, I don't know, just not beyond what I've seen Gene Roddenberry tell us. I don't expect us to get to Gene land. And George Lucas's vision seems too desolate. Maybe George is pre-Gene. I don't know. Anyway. So, yes, our storytellers are important. The visionaries are important. They spark the imagination of the engineers who figure out how to make that happen. And vice versa. I don't know. I'm not really... I can't say that being panicky is going to help. Certainly keeping our wits about us, and yes, being reactionary is helpful. One thing that I don't appreciate is when signals get crossed with too much insincere chatter, chitty chitty bang bang, whatever, too much insincere talk, action, people not making connections between their words and their actions, people not choosing to make sure that their words line up with their actions, or it's a mind, body, spirit thing, right? It's important that we remember that even though we were born helpless And even though maybe somebody didn't care that you were so helpless and took advantage of that, maybe you weren't, as fortunate as some who were nurtured in their helplessness. It's important to remember that now you are no longer in that position. If you're able to, get up on here and do this, you're able to manipulate your environment in some way, to give over all of your responsibility to extenuating circumstances and outer influences and other people, to just give that away, to give your power away like that. If you do that, that's your fault, If you do that, then you get what is coming to you from doing that. I think it's disturbing, It's painful to admit you're that powerful, because then you have to accept that what happens to you, negative or positive, is somewhat your fault, and you have to get up off of your ace to change that. A lot of people are lazy. We're animals. The sun is so nice. You don't just roll around in the sun all day. You think, I just want to eat a sandwich and have sex all day. Can I do that? No, I don't know. I can't. I'm not a good quote of Dave Chappelle on that episode. Dave Chappelle doing Puffy, hilarious shit. Anyway, that, okay? We want to do that all day. We want to just do nothing all day. But in order to do anything, we have to invest our energy. So what are you investing your energy in right now? There are some people who think that they're investing energy by wasting energy. And there are some people who are, really, really trying to contribute for the greater good. I'd rather support those people. I'd rather support people who are trying to contribute for the greater good more than I would choose to celebrate people who don't have the common sense to know any better, to, accept that responsibility. I'm thinking of a lot of things when I say this right now, like, for instance, water crisis right now, or water shutoffs right now, or oh, good grief, water overtaking the city where people were told, where the city was told over and over again, do something about these dams, do something about these dams. I absorb it all, I really do, and I discuss it all within my household and within my circle of closest friends. We talk about these things. But to get up and get out and babble at the world at large as if my opinion were going to change something when, my actions do more, it's not something I can really do. I have to turn this into something positive. I have to turn this into something that is effective and positive, if not for anybody but myself, catharsis. That's why I started blogging 8 years ago, just a few times a year, just to have some sort of catharsis and not bother people around me with what was going on in my head if there was someone in the world at large who could connect with it easier. Because I pay attention. I love comedians so much. They teach me so much. And I love just George Carlin, Chris Rock. Okay, Chris Rock talking about a man needing to stop off somewhere before he goes home to prepare himself for all the shit he got to hear when he walks in the house. Now, my husband doesn't have that problem. He doesn't have to stop somewhere when he goes away. As a matter of fact, I have to push him to go hang out with his coworkers and, homies and people that, he likes, because it's good at home. He wants to just come home, peel off, hang out and relax and do what he can do inside of his comfortable environment, But I don't want to like bludgeon his ears with all of this shit that may be more interesting to somebody out there. Now, here's what the unfortunate thing is for the somebodies out there. When we're dealing with cyberspace, we are dealing with everybody, including the social rejects with no social graces that I touched on earlier, and I've been touching on ever since I opened up this channel. And they've been touched, let me tell you. They've been touched by an angel. Good God, they're having church in my honor. Every day they come over and lay up some sacrifice, some little piece of their soul. Come here, Jeannie. I'm going to say something stupid just so I can talk to you. Yeah, getting these kids. I don't like inheriting any sort of responsibility for dealing with social rejects, but we kind of have this responsibility because, like I was saying, you get your positive, you get your negative, and we're each other's reflection. Uh, so you get reminded by these problem children what not to be. But you also have to remind your own children how not to be that, or how to recognize that, so you have to become a teacher, you have to become a student. If you are malleable, if you are willing to adapt. Like I was saying earlier, it is tough right now for people who are not willing to be adaptable, to adapt to their circumstances. And by adapting, I don't mean conforming, because I am not a conformist. I rebel. I don't believe conformity is always the best reaction to your environment. Adapting to your environment, meaning, if your environment is oppressive, then you must push back. I like it when people push back against oppression. What I don't like is that, when you're looking at things in a very yin-yang manner and living in a very yin-yang manner, it's just, no matter what you do, the negative will be there. So the best place to be is that space within the two. It seems like a tiny space, but zero is an infinite space. All possibility is there. And that's where you want to be most of the time when it comes to dealing with these things. Then you can go anywhere from there. Within that, the negative is contained, but the positive is there too, and they're in balance, perfect balance. When you get too deep off into the negative and you surround yourself with that, and then you look around and you're surrounded with shit, like, don't be surprised, like, why didn't you, what were you doing playing in that shit? Didn't you, like, give yourself some sort of pep talk, a little bit of warning? Didn't you recognize what that was? Oh, yeah, that's right. Nobody taught you. Those of us who were neglected when they were small and helpless and wanted some freaking help. Oh, my goodness. Okay, hold on. I got to check a bloop. I got a bloop. And I'm going to see what it was about, because I got many windows of me. And none of these are me that nobody knows is me. Okay? Miss Jeannie is not a troll. I need to make that clear. People keep throwing the word troll around because they, some people took a long time to catch up to its existence. And they're using it wrong. They're using it wrong. There are people who think that trolling is using the internet, and it isn't. There are people who think that trolling is using the internet a lot, and that's not what trolling is. No. Okay. Trolling is, let me post a link to this. So I didn't post a link when I first started. I just kind of started. But I'll go ahead and post the links. I'll post the links. There's one link. I'll just post one link because I don't need any damn weirdos. Oh, that's right. I gotta send a message link. A sausage link. A missing link. Because this person isn't in any groups that I know of. Sorry, while we take this station break, for me to send a message with a link to this. Yeah, I just got no need to freak out over things you don't need to freak out over. And I have no reply. Okay. And I have no desire to ignore things that need to be addressed either. Try to stay right there in the middle. Try to. I am human. I am not perfection. But I know about it. I know what that concept is. Where the heck, Scuba, is this person? Okay, well, I can't find the damn message from the dude. Is this it? Oh, here we go. Okay, he changed his name. His name on YouTube is not his name on this, and I had no idea what the heck Scuba I was looking at. There we go. All right. So yes, yes, yes. Links sent to people here and there who are cool, who have no problem with not acting a fool and having a regular conversation. Okay. So anyway, yeah, doing this is kind of like I don't know, it's a civic duty. I'm reaching out. I feel like I'm an interesting person, but I don't feel like my opinion is so damn important to anybody else but me, to the point where I just gotta give it every day. I have to, oh my God. Like, okay, Tariq is an asshole, but I love him making fun of Turtle Face going, what up, everybody? What up, everybody? I'm looking up, a recipe on like how to make bread out of pumpkins. And I'm looking, here's this fool. What up, everybody? This is your boy. I'm making bread out of pumpkins. Like, I don't feel like it's my responsibility to tell everybody every day what the hell I think of every product that came out, every news story. And I especially don't like people that exploit tragedy for their own personal gain, and you can see it. You can see that's what they're doing. There are people who said, that they are using this as a means of growing themselves, and you see them doing it in positive manners, and you see people doing it in negative manners, and you see these people who are doing it in negative manners turn around and act like that's not what they're doing when they try to act like they're trying to be positive. I'm talking to you, slow jams. You know I'm talking to you. Don't love the freaking bipolar flip-floppery that a lot of these people in this corner have when it comes to these issues. They have this, like, one day they want to act a complete idiot, and then the next day they want to exploit some tragedy and use that to make it seem as if they're serious all of a sudden, or should be taken seriously all of a sudden. I don't take anything that an idiot says seriously. Nothing that they say. They can tell me it's true. Dude, they can tell me, like, look out, something's falling, above your head. I won't believe an idiot. I won't believe anything they say. I'll trust my instincts and get out of the way before I trust what that idiot says. I don't care if the idiot is correct. The idiot, I will write off. The idiot, to me, like I said, is not the developmentally disabled person. The idiot is the person who volunteers to be ignorant in the face of all of this education available to them. All of the people that you can just ask, if you want to know, if I want to know, I ask people. Like, I will not rely on what the news tells me when it comes to real accounts of events that are happening around the world. I will not rely only on what they are telling me. I have to look at what people are saying who actually come from that part of the world. I have to look at people who are related to those people before I will believe, any picture of anything I see in the news. And people who are gullible are many, and they fall for that, and that's why there is the news. The news is words make you react. Get off those words. The news is, it's just a show. It's just a show. It's designed to sell itself. Every product that you see in between, those station breaks. I mean, they used to make it more obvious. They used to say, hey, we are doing this in order to sell you shit. Here's the product we're trying to sell you. Now they try to make it a little bit more of a party, but they're still just selling you on things. What's up, Jay Jeezy? Okay, you ain't saying that. Listen, JG, your friends are annoying me. Okay, I don't know who they are, but I can't talk to your friends. I ain't going to your hangouts no more. Your friends are crazy. Your ex-girlfriend and some other guy. I don't know who they are. But I think, yeah, Sirloin and Low Aptitude kept trying to pop into this chat, and they kept sending me stupid messages. And the one of your friends was saying something about, like, oh, you two lovebirds quit fighting, and I'm like, you need to check who you're talking to before you say anything, because that's freaking irritating to me. There's nothing. I got no love for Low Aptitude. LA gets on my ever-loving nerves, and I wouldn't have known anything about him had he not come over to my channel and get on my nerves. Anyway, about him and just, I was speaking in general, not about, like, people specifically, but I was speaking about, the type of people who have no conviction. They have no heart. They have no courage. They don't stick to what they say. One day they will swear that everybody in your family needs to die. The next day they will complain because someone was murdered in cold blood, and they'll use that complaint to try and make themselves look like great people. But what they're really doing is exploiting someone else's tragedy. Because just the day before that, they were telling somebody that barely knew that everybody in their family needs to die, or oh, fuck your mom, or fuck your dad, or I hope everybody dies, everybody next to you dies. But then they're going to go, oh, the police harassed this man and killed this man, and we're angry about this today. And if you don't speak on this today, that means that you don't care. No, I definitely care, but I just don't feel the need to like scream about it. You know, I don't feel the need to say anything unless what I am saying is going to be effective. So I'm really pleased with people who have the gumption or the guts to put their art out there, or to put their voice out there, to say whatever it is that they feel like they need to say without being afraid of what anybody. Okay, is it back on? Yes, it is. All right. Anyway, I think I came in and came out, still figuring out this Hangout format. But that was good. That was a good time to like shut it down, shift gears. I trust the universe to put me where I'm supposed to be. I think that people who have trouble doing that have trouble in life. You don't trust the universe put you where you're supposed to be. Hi, Freddie. How you doing?
Hey, Jeannie.
What's up?
Oh, I'm just seeing how you're doing today. With Kim Middle's discussion. Just been on TRS a lot, but Tariq
So what's
told me.
going on TRS? Yeah, you say it like that's a bad thing. You've been on TRS a lot.
Oh,
I haven't been on TRS a lot just because like, well, you talk first.
well, basically, it's just usually a lot of controversy. Let's see, man.
Yeah.
Ocean ain't on no more, but and then now we're trying to hash out the differences with lately it's been about the Michael Brown discussion and
Mhm.
what are we going to do about that. We've been hearing a lot about that, the riots out there.
Mhm.
um, uh, they're arresting news reporters out there because they don't want it. There's been a blackout as far as the journalists has been concerned. They're also right now there's so that and they're shooting at the kids have been killed because in the intervention of the cops trying to calm down the people, and the people aren't calming down. Um, for what I've seen in the footage, Tyrone posts that up, and just since I'm a Tariq listener as well, some people don't know that I've been a big Tariq listener,
Mhm.
and he's going as usual, but he's, let's just say, yeah, Tommy's making video 15. You know what he's been up to, so that's
Yes.
basically what's been going down.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but since
I'm
I've been
looking
on
at
TRS, it's just the usual. We're just talking about basically a lot of just black male leadership, just trying to get the black men to stand up, because me and Divine have been really mentioning that, especially when we brought it to the attention of the way other black people across the world look at us in America. Some people don't want to wake up. I think others do, because I've been stressing it enough, because um, me looking on the outside in at the community a lot, I feel like we need to basically you got two schools of thought: people who just don't want to, they don't want help from nobody, but then I'm on the other side of the fence. Is, hey, look, if we can take the help from other people, then let's leave that at the table, but let's not be dependent on it, but let's take the help. But
Mhm.
actually, I was interested in what you were talking about, because I came in 30 minutes to the discussion.
Oh, well, you know what I was talking about? I kind of just turned it on and I was just like, there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on in this little corner. the YouTube, and which is extended onto Blog Talk and parched spilled into Facebook. And there's a lot going on, in the world around us. And I was just talking about how um, I think the best way to deal with everything is to be centered, because and to react, to react when a reaction is needed, but to react. Talking about reacting pisses me off, and that's why I don't do a lot of that. I've been criticized by idiots who show their penises to people. I don't take these guys too seriously, but they have this criticism that I don't care about black people because I don't talk about the things they talk about. And my thing is, I talk about these things all the time. I just don't talk about them with you because I don't have friends who show their dicks to people for no reason. And I talk about these things with the people around me that I love all the time. That's why I have this connection to people that make sense, because those are the people I'm interested in connecting with. People who make fucking sense and want to do something rather than talk about things. The community that is closest needs to respond and react, just like the things that are going on out here, with the young man that was shot in the back recently here. That response needs to happen locally. Think globally, act locally. It's absolutely how we make things move forward. You need to be mindful of what's going on out there. And if there's any connection you can make, that's how you make the change. You don't make the change only by being mindful. Being mindful allows, for more moral support, but the effort has to be applied at the grassroots. You have to be there to affect it. You have to have been there to know what happened, and you have to be there to affect those changes. And any support that you can give to anyone who is affecting those changes, if you have the means, do it. I just don't think that offering support is just talking. That's part of why, Talk Real Solutions for me turned out to be, a lot of talking and less solving, because I saw a lot of like circular talk, like all the all fuck shit going back and forth. It's irritating to me. It took too long for Tyrone to really address the fact that the man just talks in circles and needs a lot of fucking attention, you know? Um, I have absolute respect for having an open forum, and it's not up to me to tell him how to run his shit at all. I won't do that. I'm not going to be like, you don't need to have blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying, ask for my opinion. I don't need to listen to that all the time. I'm not so dysfunctional that I need to just watch this man spiral down into fucking madness. It's same thing with damn Turtleface. I have a personal thing with Turtleface that I think has drawn me into this thing so that I can recognize these things that are going on that I didn't recognize before. It's bigger than, his little actions is what I'm saying. Like the personal connection I understand is there in order to, like, when we identify with things that happen to black people because we're black people. I identify with things that happen to black women because I'm a black woman. But in the end, you're supposed to be locally conscious. You're supposed to be reactionary. You're supposed to give if you have the means so that when you need, someone can give to you. It's the nature of our being. What I was saying earlier is that, we're born pretty much helpless, and we're lucky if someone helps us. And some of us are put in situations where no one had any sympathy for our helplessness, and they in fact exploited it. And there are those of us who were nurtured, who were helped, who were empowered, and we've got both kinds, and we are constantly battling each other here.
Well, what do you mean um, born helpless? Do you mean as a black woman or
I mean,
just?
as babies, human
Oh,
babies.
okay, okay, okay,
hmm
okay, okay. As babies, yeah.
Human
Um,
babies not going to get up and know what to eat.
right, right.
Well, instinctively, when they go to the breast. But if you leave that baby there and there's no breast, where does the baby instinctively go? Some more knowledgeable mammal may come along and help that baby, be it a person or a wolf or whatever. But that baby has to learn from its environment. Something has to help it. It doesn't just exist in and of itself or raise itself very well without some sort of acknowledgement. So there are those of us who we pulled the wrong card for whatever reason. And, I have my own feelings on those reasons and how that happens, but that's my own stuff. Those of us who pulled the abuse card when it came to those who were supposed to nurture us, they abused us. You know, we have these types of people who, they start off that little seed and it grows. And the people who, were nurtured well, have to contend with the effects of this. And then there's everything in between. There's the people that are just like somewhere in the middle of that line and they just don't care either way. We have the apathetic people among us that's the big market. Those are the people that advertisers, spend all of their days and nights and surveys and energy trying to reach and figure out, those apathetic people. How can we easily grab, those swing votes in there? How can we easily grab this person who doesn't care? Because the extremists, we know what they're going to do. We know what the extremely good and the extremely bad are going to do. What about you
Well,
lazy bastards in the middle?
I,
We don't
I
know
want to.
anything. Go for it.
I want to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
I always have this idea in my head. I never asked someone about it, but what do you think people should do as far as, okay, they're on TRS, or they can listen to Tommy, they listen to TRS, they listen to Mac Lessons, Tariq Nasheed, doesn't matter. Then
Okay.
they get off Twitter, get off Facebook, and they go to work today, or they just go and fall asleep. Would you suggest that they get more involved in their, like you said, locally? Like, should they join a nonprofit organization? Should they get
Sure, sure. Like they should know. Well, here's the thing. I'm not saying everybody, follow this formula and go do this. What I'm saying is you're you, I'm not you, so you know what motivates you, what, gets you going, what gets you up. Why are you so passionate? What are you passionate about? You know that. And if you see a problem, if you see an obstruction, if you see an obstacle, if you see that,
mm,
you know, whatever motivates you, that's what you need to attack. So some people might think the problem is that the police in my area harass us and treat us like shit. I would say, who is us? Who specifically was harassed and treated like shit? Okay, bring that person here. You guys get together. Okay, you guys share each other's stories. Where are the similarities? Any of the same cops involved? Any of the same things involved? Okay, see, people, oh God, we have to do something now. You know what I mean? People stop right fucking there because they don't want to do anything. My mother, in the video that I put up about my mom on my other channel, there's a couple of articles where my mother got some press for a community center that she formed because she saw a problem and got people together and brought some attention to the problem because that's how you address the problem. The problem that she saw was drug dealers on our street where we had to walk to school in front of her building. Pissed her off. So she started addressing them individually. And then she started addressing her local law enforcement to find out, if I see you rolling up and down the street and you see them rolling up and down the street and you know what the fuck they're doing, why aren't you doing anything about it? And then she started addressing her local city councilman to find out, why don't people have a place where they can go to get resources and connect with these people who are their law enforcement to talk about the things that they see all the time that the law enforcement can't catch? Because we understand that criminals are cunning, and we understand that some cops are crooked, and we understand that some are really actually interested in helping people. So how do we just, expose what the hell is really going on here? Let's differentiate between the two. I know you're going to do your dirty business anyway, but you're not going to do it right in front of this building as long as I'm here, or that one, or that one, or that one, or that one, where my baby and all of her friends are walking down this street to that school. And she cleaned up an entire street that way. I don't know what the
mm,
fuck happened when we moved, but I've seen my mother on the street with a broom, with other things on her body that people did not know where they were concealed. That's how you do it, and people don't want to do things. They stop right there. The cops who around here treat us like shit. Okay, well, they're going to keep treating you like shit as long as you treat each other like shit. Why should they treat you any better than you treat each other? You're not giving them any reason. When I walk down the street, I do not find any reason to discriminate against anyone who has not done anything wrong to me. no matter what they look like, no matter how much they have. There are
Mm.
people who will look at you and presume all kinds of things about you because you're a black male. They'll look at me because I'm a female, because I'm black, because of what I'm wearing, because of my body, because of anything and everything but what I've actually done. I have no need to change these people, but I acknowledge their existence. And I am ready to react if I need to. I am ready to defend myself if I need to. That takes effort and it takes awareness. It takes not taking that shit. And like I said, there's some people that just pulled the fucking abuse card. They don't know that it's okay for them to defend themselves. They get their signals crossed. They get the ideas all the way screwed up. They don't understand that they don't have to take so and so's stupid message about who they are. You know, I'm just not one of those people. I'm not going to apologize for it. And I do my best to try to encourage other people to not, keep that. But that old habits die hard. Some people want to stay in that fucking abuse cycle, that victim cycle. That's another thing that I heard too much of with TRS. Tyrone, what I love about what he's done is he has sacrificed his own resources so that people who have something to say can have a platform and feel like they're being heard. What I don't like about what he's doing is that he has this victim mentality where every time I'm always hearing him say, every time I tune in and I hear him say something, it's like they're doing this to us and what are we going to do? And we can't, and they and this. And I'm like, this is not consistent with your message of, with your proactivity here. This is not consistent here. What you've done is this. Now you're going to stop right there and say we can't. You provided this
There,
platform, so you can go further than that. You
there
can.
are two things that I noticed with this problem. Now, on the outside looking in, normally my normal dominant mentality is to look at black folks who are not doing anything for herself. Why should I give a damn? Why should I associate with you, right? Then in my adventures, venturing out, getting to know other people, hanging around, mixed company. I mean, just I noticed that people have opinions about us, and they're misguided. We're not. They don't know that we have talks like this with black man and black woman getting along, and what are we going to do? How can we improve relations? How can we stop the gang violence? How do we stop the young boys on our block? They don't know that part. Um, and I've realized that there are in higher societies of life, upper echelons of life, we have black people who are doing better than us, who do nothing about it, um, only because maybe they're scared. Not saying they don't care, but only because maybe they're scared. Like a newscaster, maybe they do, like, or maybe they're like a lawyer, but maybe they're on someone else's payroll, so they can't do anything. They can't do as much as they want, and that's what other black people don't realize. Um, but then remember Tariq saying something very, very profound. He said, "You see these coons and all these people, they're kind of low key mad at you, at the community. They're kind of low key. So if they don't sit here and do anything, it's because they don't want to. It's because they're mad at you."
Hmm. Okay.
Um,
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, but on the other end, I noticed that when I'm on TRS, it's not so much Tyrone, it's the listeners, people in the chat room. I noticed that some of these fans, they either pro-black, pro-militant, all that, but they, I don't know what it is, but they, I do notice the victimization, but what I notice is they always act as if were they always act as if they come off to me as they feel betrayed, like we abandoned them, or maybe black folks have done them wrong. But I could, you feel the same back, and I've told you this before. It's like, you
No,
done
no.
nothing.
You asked me about that before. You asked me about the, like, okay, is it possible that you have, like, abandonment issues? Do you got any abandonment issues? And I'm like, I can't, even if I
I,
were to have abandonment issues, I can't blame abandonment issues. That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have there a family is a family. I don't expect my family to be perfect. Period. I don't
Mm.
expect perfect family. That where'd you get that perfect family idea? We have this sort of idea that maybe once upon a time our families were perfect and now they're not perfect, and that's not my belief. That's just not my feeling. I feel like human nature is not as cut and dry as that. You know, this idealistic human that we have in our heads is something that is imaginary. It is something that we all try to attain, maybe, but I don't think that that's very realistic. That's why it's an ideal. You know, if there were too many perfect people running around, we wouldn't have all of the crises that we always have, and we always have this. Every decade has its major headlines. It's fucking crisis, like holy shit, this happened, and then we have archaeologists who can give us accounts of like, look at what happened, and look at how this happened, look how this happened. People were like, holy crap, because it's the nature of our being, with when we do this like, yin yang chaotic kind of up down thing that we do. I'm seeking the solace of the center and the circle. That does not mean that I'm always there. Of course, I'm affected. I'm definitely driven to react because of the things I see. But my reaction is not to blame my experience for my present inaction when I'm faced with a circumstance that I don't appreciate. I'm not going to say that, because of this is why I'm just sitting here talking shit about this instead of doing something about it. You know, um, for like Tyrone, like okay, people in chat room. If I've never seen your face or heard your voice, you don't mean shit to me. You a trolly troll, and I'm gonna play with you, and I'm gonna make you a punching bag because that's what you want to do. So okay, let's do that. You're an emotional punching bag. Do 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 do. I'm having fun with you. Language skills. I'm doing this or that. Um, I hang around a lot of drag queens. Sparring off with people verbally is nothing. And I don't think that taking what these assholes say personally is something that we need to do in this corner too much. And we do that in this corner too much. Take anonymous voices seriously. People you never see and hear, and they come up and they say something stupid, and you want to take that seriously? That's distracting. You know, the fact that you're so easily manipulated is something that people who seek to manipulate you will use against you in many forms. That's why I was saying, the people in the middle, the swingers, the people that just go, I'll go this way or I'll go that way, I'll go that. They got no conviction, no fucking roots. Those are the people that are, that predators, seek to take advantage of, those in the middle that didn't, weren't fast enough to hide. So I don't like the way, he gives too much credit to these idiots, and I don't, and I think he's pretty good at ignoring some of it, but not like catching, just the stupid. You just got to like kick off the stupids quick. Like if you're gonna do the show and monitor all this stuff, you have to monitor all the communication. You got to monitor people coming in and out. You got to monitor that chat room if you want to run it well. It takes a while. I understand. The man didn't go to broadcasting school or anything like that, so he's got to figure this platform out. That's why, like I said, I'm not going to tell him what to do or anything. I just notice what's happening, and some of the stuff I do not love, and I'm not blaming any other thing for what one thing did. Like, I'm not blaming the people in chat room for what Tyrone's doing that I don't agree with, and I'm not blaming Tyrone for what the idiots in the chat room are doing. It's just, it is what it is. There's idiots in the chat room that are these, yes, keyboard gangsters that have nothing else to fucking do. They troll. My name is Troll. And they're always fucking there, and they have nothing else better, just nothing. Then you've got your, people who are really, really interested and actually convicted and have something to say, even if that thing that they have to say is stupid. They're there to participate in the conversation. I ain't got no problem with that. But we have to ignore, people who and they want to be protected. They want to be anonymous because there's crazy out there. I get it. But you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference. If a troll or a griefer is just there to like grief you, then you can't go all off the handle because of that. The other thing too, yeah, is that he's like, Ocean and other people that like call in that like it seems like people all they have to do is like drop a compliment or something, and then he believes everything that they say. I need for someone who presents an equal platform for me to be a little bit more discerning than that, and less apt to, you know, pick a side. I think he's very good at being open and allowing everyone to talk and kind of letting the fact that the day is gone, happen. Like, let that shit roll off my back. I'm not going to hold, no 48-hour grudges on anybody. And at the same time, I'm going to remember that your stupid ass was stupid if you were stupid, but I'm not going to hold that against you today. If you want to chat, come on, let's talk. What I don't love, though, is that uh, if he's going to be personally invested, he should be a little bit more fair, a little bit more thorough. And I think I don't know, he just buys shit too easy, hook, line, and sinker. Even spoke and said, like, our people, we buy shit too easy and we believe anything. And I'm like, you're talking about yourself when you say that, because I don't just believe anything. I have to weigh, many sources. I don't just, if it's on NBC, I know that that's a show that is there to sell me something. And I'm not going to buy into that sensationalist bullshit. I'm going to investigate other sources as well. So I have issues with the shallow investigation there, and also the yeah, taking too long to recognize when silly is silly. Like, yeah, the all fuck stuff, all that, just too much. It just went too far. It was just too obvious that, I don't know, it could have been caught before. I think he's spending money on this. Like, is this what you want to spend your money on? Like a convoluted,
Oh,
circular, back and
just
forth crock of shit, or do
someone
you want it to be a real dialogue? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
someone told me. I guess because I know it's being recorded, but like I guess
It's
I'll say
fine,
that.
man.
I know he spends quite a lot, right? A good chunk of change, probably almost equivalent to a car payment to say that because it's on
You can
seven
look that
months.
up. Yeah, you can look it up. You can look it
Okay.
up. Yeah, it's like that's open knowledge, so you don't have to be all out and nobody.
Okay. So the thing is, okay. First about after being on that show, I know he wanted to give black women a positive message,
Yes. Okay.
to counteract what Todd was saying.
Yes.
Uh, I told Tyrone this on the show. I also said in my video, I said you cannot give a black woman a positive message when her mind is turned to shit. That's like trying to put crack cocaine in a V8 vegetable drink. It's gonna, you can't mix it in there and then expect women to just come off better. It doesn't really work that way. It
Yeah.
it can't. He said that's the problem. What I noticed with would say, I'm gonna call him Turtle Face right now because I guess because he threw Tariq under the bus. I'm just like, okay,
You're like, oh, yeah, I know.
I was hurt, but when Turtle Face actually when Turtle Face actually uh, threw him under the bus, and I know when he speaks to black women, it's that doesn't hurt. And I tried to, and what was frustrating for me when I'm trying to actually on TRS, it was hard not to, because my mentality was different. It was kind of hard going in, feeling like you need to kind of cut corners and kind of be nice and cordial with people on the phone. BTR it doesn't really get down like that.
Right.
It just came to the point where people, the college themselves, were being fed up with the one-sidedness, the male bashing, the women who would come on and these men hurt me, and then eventually get people leaving and turning, and Styles coming in and then just leaving, Bone coming in and then leaving, all facts come and going. You don't know when he's going to come. He comes back, curses out Tyrone. He comes back and act like nothing happened. Um, uh, uh, Four ladies that the wolf pack came in and then left, um, and that's all it that story. But
Well, I mean, because he runs it well for someone who's never done this, but he does not run it well. And that's not a slight or a criticism. It's not jab. Like, he'll say that. He'll tell you, I don't know what I'm doing right now. So it's not, he's not a bad person for that. I don't know how to do a lot of things. I'm not a bad person for that.
the
But
point is,
it's
yeah,
playing out, and you can see this. And this is a good example. This is what happens when you have a person who is not qualified for a job doing a job. Things can go wrong. But fortunately, this is a job he created for himself. He can do this if he wants to. It is his platform. He can run it how he want to. But I can be realistic and look at like each person's contribution for sure, and not just act like okay, well, whatever. I see what's going on. Like I see that. Okay, I want to know what are you talking about exactly with like male bashing women or something like that? Because I have not listened in a while, or I've been coming in but not really paying attention because I'm doing other stuff in the house. So
When I
who are
mean
the
male
male bashing
bashing,
chicks,
I mean
or can you give me some examples of?
here's what I think. Okay, use examples. When the wolf pack was there, it was a lot of it was a little bit. I thought it was more fair, but um, uh, it's I wouldn't say male bashing, but it's more like catering to an audience. Not so much what I mean by what I meant was Tyrone held the show. He
Mhm,
gives a positive message to the women,
mhm.
but the men would get a different story. They said, okay, men,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, that's right. That's right.
right?
People were saying, Tyrone, you're coddling the women. Okay, I got
Yeah,
you.
basically,
Well,
yeah.
let me just say from the female perspective, if Tyrone were coddling the women, the wolf bag would have never left. Okay. Um, you know, I think that what he was doing was because, like, see, now this is weird. How do we really wrap around this? I like to use real examples, especially when it comes to this corner, because there's a
Kind of.
lot of talk that doesn't line up with actions, and I like to use people's actions and, in conjunction with what they've said. Like, look, on this day you said this, and then on this day you said this. Or just so because you said this day doesn't mean you mean it, because on this day you said something a little different. The What he does is what he wants to do. And I think that some days it's cheerleading for guys and some days it's cheerleading for chicks. And I don't think either side likes it when the other side gets cheerlead.
Hmm.
That's what I see. Because as a chick calling, I found that, and like I'm saying for everybody, I was saying that he's pretty good at allowing everyone to speak. I think he's good at that. And that's what I was asking for. You don't have to stick up for me. Allow me to stick up for myself. I don't need you to stick up for me. Allow me to stick up for myself. If that person wants to criticize me, let them. That is their right. Let them do it. And let me stick up for myself. That's a fair platform. Me being, supported or defended by someone doesn't necessarily always mean that they're doing it for me. They might be doing it for them, just like we are speaking for these men who have been slain by cops. When we say we don't like this, it doesn't mean that you know we're doing that necessarily because of these men asking us. They didn't ask us to do shit. They can't ask us to do anything. We speak on what we see that we don't like. Sometimes he saw some stuff going on with the dudes and the chicks that he didn't fucking like, and he pointed it out. And he, I think, will do the same thing when it comes to, like, I've heard him, tell chicks that he doesn't like what they do. Yes, he is Mr. Southern gentleman, and he has this sort of like hold the door open for you, hold a chair out for you, ma'am, kind of thing. He'll do that shit. But he's the same guy who, had put up on his Facebook or whatever after he had whatever problems with his ex, black women are the stupidest bitches on the planet or something like that. Like he will turn around and talk some shit too,
Yeah,
so,
he put up that Montana.
because he was
Oh,
mad.
I'm laughing because he said I'll give him. He said that out of frustration. I think because he's not Tyrone's not above it too. He put that little thing out there, but
Well, I'm not above it either, but I would certainly, that's like I'm saying, I don't blame my circumstances for being an asshole. If I'm choosing to be a bitch, it's because I choose to be a bitch. I'm not gonna choose to say that black men are all motherfucking blah 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 just because this one black man pissed me off. I'm not gonna say black men at large are this, that, or the other because Turtleface is an asshole. That's not the case. I don't care. Turtleface dragged a whole group, a whole string of black men behind him. They're all shouting the same thing at me that he did. I don't give a fuck. That's still you guys. That's you guys. I see you guys. You guys are you guys. You are my grandfather. You are my brother. You are my cousin. You're not my uncle. You're not my friend. You're not the homie. You're not the person I work with. You're you guys. You know, that's some shit that, like I'm saying, yeah, like you said, he's not above it. So, you're saying that he like defends the girls and calls the girls, or the people noticed that and didn't like that. You very quickly called it male bashing, But when I asked you to say, who bashed, it turned out to be no, it was actually male coddling that you were pissed off about. You were pissed off about male coddling, not necessarily male bashing. Because if the male bashing was, this is what I keep asking these guys, who are these chicks that bashed you on YouTube so hard for so many years that you feel totally justified in talking complete shit to me and I never did anything to you? You're
Oh,
assuming all this shit about me. Who the hell gave you the right? And you can't give me no examples. Like you cannot tell me who the hell bashed your ass.
no, no,
Now
no.
I know there's some bitches on there who talk crazy shit.
Hold on. I'll tell you what I personally saw.
What
Um,
you see?
okay. What I didn't see was I personally get offended, and I tell my sister this all the time. Okay, what I get personally offended by is because I said Tyler, I grew up in a single parent home. I grew up with two older sisters. One is 33, there's 37. Um, and I have my mother around. I only know my mom's side of family. It's nothing but mostly women, and I was raised, Southern Baptist home. But now I go in with the mentality, you take this out in the world, okay, you're going to be nice to women, you're going to be respecting all that stuff. They don't really respond. I quickly learned it doesn't really happen. It don't really happen like that. I can't be like, I can't treat them like my sister or mommy. I can't respond to them the same way because they're just going to take that as a different. I learned that very quickly, and that's what made me very angry. So when I see a male just automatically being giving just at respect at default, try to justify his mind of yes, she's hurt, yes, she's pain, but you don't got to take that. And he expects us not to have a problem with it. I'm like, dude, you let these women talk to you, you give them reasons. The more that we men don't call women out in their BS, we're just going to hinder them into the mistakes that they might have or their problems. I'm just like, I'm not going to tell like my friend Ajali, I tell her um, she feels like some men are hurt her by breaking up, who broke up with her all the time. I
Mm-hmm.
said, don't hold us responsible for our mistakes that we had with you at the current time. All
Mm-hmm.
those 20 something years you had of mistakes, don't hold us responsible for that. Don't hold us responsible for your lack of judgment or your lack of experience or the level of discernment, your lack of character or your strength of your character. Don't hold us responsible for those things. That's you.
Mm-hmm.
And what I find in that wrong person's life is sometimes their mama didn't give them that. So you can take it back to that. Or even
Mm-hmm.
sometimes their daddy,
Mm-hmm.
their fathers are responsible.
Yes.
In
Yes.
cases, I think was there or not. So
Well, oh no, go ahead.
why
Go
is
ahead.
responsible for something? Because if we men sit and cater to us women all the time, and then in one breath complain about what they ain't doing, but don't acknowledge, hey, you need to stop doing that. Tyrone should be the first one to be like, hey, I don't like the way you act. These brothers, I don't like the way they treat you, but I see some mistakes too that would lessen the pain and also make them uh, make your argument credible as women and justified in your rants and complaints about males. So therefore, I'm not all for it. Like for example, I said in the first show, hey, I grew up in an abusive home. I could have been that dude you would hear me. I would have been a Tommy, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. But if I sit here and if I don't sit here and ask women, why are you complaining about male abuse or you've been in abusive relationships when you majority of those guys have never they didn't hit a woman until they met you. They didn't hit you until they met you. Versus women in my own family who have done nothing to my father. Very soon I'm really talking about my sisters. My sisters done nothing to my father, and my father was the one who put this abuse on my sisters, psychological and all this other stuff, on my sisters and the rest of my siblings. Now, me as a victim, on the other side of the coin, I don't dare put myself in the same box as those women. I'm on a different boat. I'm on a different side of a child growing up. How dare you complain about victim when these women actually did nothing to the men that hit them versus you provoked these men and you did everything and you damn near earned every ass whooping you got. So from my stance, I refuse to walk for some because that is gonna mistake them.
Okay.
I just can't. I don't feel that way towards all of them like that. I
No,
feel
that's fine. Like, why? I mean, you shouldn't have to feel like you have to be automatically um, overly compensatory toward a female just for the sake that she's a female. At the same time, don't expect them to be, laying out a red carpet for your penis. Just you're you. You are you.
never asked. I mean, I never really ask for. I don't
Special
expect
treatment for being a man.
male. I don't go and I don't ever feel that way. I'm just, you know, if you're gonna be complaining, I at least at least know because what I've seen the difference between someone who's actually a victim who's not. I started to see hypocrisies, but
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it, but I mean,
Well, yeah, it's like it's an individual thing. A person who is a jerk is a jerk is a jerk is a jerk. They're gonna act like a jerk and they're gonna do jerky things and they're going to need some company for that misery and they're going to try to make someone else, to blame for that. They're gonna have to like they need somebody to play with. They need to bounce that blame off. That's the nature of the jerk to blame the environment and to you know, really be the person initiating all that negative action, but to not accept their responsibility in it. Yeah, he did this to me. He beat the shit out of me. Never mind that you were screaming 2 inches from his face before he grabbed you. Never mind that. He hit me. He hit me. I like to look at all of that. I like to look at both sides of the story. But here's part of my problem with some of the people that I've encountered, is that they want to pick and choose your objectivity. If I were to apply that objectivity to a different situation, then all of a sudden I'm some sort of, you know, loyalist for negative, and that's not it. I'm looking at all of the situation. Maybe like in a relationship, if we're parent child, parent's supposed to be parent. You don't get any excuse for abusing a child. There's never any reason. You never
yeah,
have a reason. But when it comes to, an adult relationship with two consenting adults, what you cultivate is what you are both responsible for. If you find out that you are living with a dangerous person and you don't get your ass the fuck out of there, that's on you. You're going to sit there and challenge that danger, then that's on you too. If you want to just go ahead and take on all of that creates, that's your choice. I feel the same way about any other conflict. It's like you have the choice to walk away from that conflict or to engage, but either way you have the power within the scope of that conflict. And yes, you do have part of the responsibility for being available for that conflict. There you are. The idiots who freaking bother me online, it's my fault for being online. That's it. I won't accept any responsibility for the fact that they're idiots or the idiotic things that they do. None of that is my responsibility. All that's my responsibility is that I showed up, okay? And what I choose to do is what I choose to do. I cannot blame them for what I choose to do. I can't say it's freaking, so and so's fault that I did this or didn't do that. It's what I chose based on what I wanted, and I accept my responsibility for that. There are too many people who don't want to do that. They want to very quickly say, the reason why I chose to do this is because of blank. It's because of my mom. It's because of the government. It's because I'm black. It's because I'm a woman. I chose to do this because of that. No, you did it because you did it. You did it because you wanted to. Go ahead and
you know,
accept responsibility for that and get on with your day. I'm sorry, go ahead.
there was I've actually there's this one woman I did troll for a long time. It was for maybe a few weeks, right? It's what it's like.
You're
But
like,
I was
you're like, I can troll you, bitch. Oh, man.
oh, I tell you. Okay, I don't know if you know of her, because you seem like one of those YouTubers that just
Okay.
black YouTube community, but you go into other community YouTube communities.
Yeah.
Like I just not go outside because I wasn't in this whole black YouTube stuff until I found it later. But what happened was her name was I don't know if you may have heard of her. Her name was Blair Allison, also known as Intuitive Heart Healer.
No.
You know who
Who
that
is
is?
that? No. Blair Allison, Intuitive Heart Healer? Oh,
Or
Lord. Okay.
Love Guru Blair. Or Love Guru Blair. She has three
Okay.
different. basically she talks about love and energy and connecting with the spirits and all that. And that's fine, right? I like stuff like like a little
That's
pop.
fine.
I
No,
like
that's fine. It's fine. I have a very good friend who also is Miss, love, energy, and all that stuff. And even
but
though I laugh at her hippiness, I appreciate it.
yeah, I would, but here's where she gets herself into trouble. She got in trouble when she said Spirit told me to start talking about the George Zimmerman case. Yeah. Here's where it
Stop.
got
Oh
ugly.
Lord. Okay.
Here's where it got ugly. Now she was trying to. Now this girl seems like she should be on the View, right? Now bring that topic of race to the View. That
Okay.
is not going to fly well, and it got so bad. The ignorance of what she was talking about was this. She was getting trolled by like militant Crips Bloods, Nation of Islam, white nationalists, former Klan members on there, people who were in support of those groups, and they all were coming at her and said, "Girl, you don't know about race in America. Why are you talking about it?" Now, when you get the most extreme people who think in terms of race, white and black and mixed, you know you can run into problems. And then and then she said she was Jewish, right? And I'm like, don't say you're Jewish on YouTube because one thing I do beforehand, kind of looking at how the trolls respond to different people, their reaction is this: um, all the white people cheering her on, she was criticizing black. She said she was Jewish. Some of the white people turned on her, and I guess she wasn't aware that I guess there are anti-Semitic white people. You know, this is, I mean, it's not anything that I'm saying isn't true. It's on YouTube. They're like, yeah, I've watched 2 or 3 videos about like, yeah, these people aren't white, and she said it, and she's like, oh, and I told her, don't you say that. What are you doing? But then on the other hand, I was getting heat from black folks because I was kind of defending her right to have a message or have a
Yeah.
voice because because I got in trouble with some of black folks because I said there are people shooting back right now. And like for example, Jordan Davis, you got shot. It takes one shot to kill a person, not eight. That's out of fear or hatred or something. That's not out
Right.
of. So I said, if we don't have
It's rage.
population, in white America, why are you scared of us? Those who are, not saying not, but I'm just saying those who. Why are the ones who? Why are you shooting us? Why are you feel this way? What is your hatred? What motivated you this time? I don't care about history. What's up with you? And they're like, oh, now, that's something when it comes to black, we have silenced, I think, we have silenced white America's voice to talk about race. On the other end, they're kind of scared to talk. And we're not going to get an honest dialogue if we're so up in arms going, don't you talk, don't you say that. You can't even mention black in the same breath. Like,
Hmm.
getting our boys shot, and now our girls are getting shot. There was a girl, a 5-year-old girl, a little black girl who got hit in the face. So if that hatred, because I've had white people come to me and tell me uh, how they really felt about black people when they were comfortable. And if they're going to their daily job, teacher or police officer, that is an app that was willing for them to hide all their anger and pain and take it out of taking one of our children. So it's like, if they're telling me this, what are they doing? What is that cop thinking? He's beating up on black women or strangling and putting young black men in headlock. And I'm like, and and I know what that say of black people, and we need to stop the war. It's getting us killed in the process, but we don't know. And I mean, what you want to tell me? I mean, there's that one person who will tell you, and sometimes I'm like, I'm I'm viewed as the I'm viewed as the truth, so I'm like, what do I know? I have more contact with you. What do
Hmm. Well, I am not, uh, like I was saying earlier, I don't try to connect myself with people that I don't gravitate towards with and harmonize with and resonate with. I tend to resonate with people who are open minded and able to understand that a person's character is what dictates their character, not their aesthetics, not their sexual orientation, not their race, not their income. Character is what determines character, and that's what character is. It's nice to be rich and have a lot of money. It's nice to have a lot of property. It might be nice to have social status for whatever reason you're allowed that. But none of that determines your character. This is the majority of the people that I try to surround myself with. I really don't. I can't think of, anybody who's like in my close, circle or people that I work with that I'm connected with that I like talking to, who are people who would feel uncomfortable expressing themselves when it comes to how they feel about anything another person did. I feel like people who have a fear of discussing the way they feel about something are, yeah, they're afraid of their own feelings. And it is ugly to admit to yourself that you are bigoted in any manner. One of the reasons why my mom moved back to her native Alabama from Southern California was that she told me, she said, I was starting to, because she was dealing with property management and, local community development. And she said, I started to develop a real prejudice for Hispanic people. I don't want to do that. I'm like, really? I'm a kid, so I have no idea what she's talking about. Like this is all my friends. I don't know what that. But she's looking at it from an economic sense. She's seeing the influx of immigration and how it's changing the landscape and how local people are being asked to allow people who are not here, born here and do not have full citizenship to have these allowances that locals don't get. She's seeing the language change. She's seeing that, the Spanish that she took is becoming more and more handy. She's finding that she's speaking to applicants in Spanish more than in English. And for me, I'm looking at the history and I'm saying, well, we're in Los Angeles. This is where we are. This is where these people have always been. And this is the natural evolution of things, I think, for people to like push back against those borders, because our borders are arbitrary. And I'm not giving a shit about these borders. People be crossing these borders with or without your permission. But for her, she was looking at economic collapse based on a system not being able to support a separate system for this steady influx of citizens than this other system that is actually supporting the system. This system is being crippled by this high influx of people who aren't contributing as much. Not because they don't want to. These are hardworking, industrious people, but they're coming. They do not know the language. They do not know the customs, and they are only able to do the work that they're able to do, which is under the table work, which is work that, because agriculture is such a big deal here, it does like help the economy. Please believe California is really aided by, all of the fucking undocumented work that we get in these citrus fields and these, up in Northern California and stuff. But I understand, what she was looking at was, something that was, an economic problem and a math problem. And she began to put a face on that just wasn't the face she wanted to put on that. She just did not want to be hating on a people for something a circumstance that is created by many factors. Just like, with African Americans. And I hate that term because it's fucking long, clumsy, and ridiculous. I'll take black, it's fine. For black people in the United States, we have this stigma that we have inherited through many circumstances. It's not something that you can point to one source and say, you can't say white folks. because that's not just it. You can't say money, you can't say government, you can't say genetics. It's not just one thing. Lots of things went into why we're the face of, I don't know, whatever you want to call it in this country.
Racial injustice.
Racial injustice, sure. Why we are the face of racial injustice in this country. There's a lot of
Hmm.
reasons why that is. And it's not like we don't contribute to that. And it's not like we are not all at fault for that. But there are a lot of circumstances. So I say, like, what are you doing about it today? Are you perpetuating these goddamn stereotypes about yourself and then complaining about them 2 hours later? Or are you doing something that affects changing that landscape? Because the mammy and the coon is a ridiculous figure where once upon a time that was just who we were to some people. So now that is something that is actually offensive. That these caricatures were not offensive. Once upon a time they were the norm. They were every day. Nobody blinked. This day, if you put, you know, yeah, an old, like whatever one of those old Warner Brothers cartoons on right now. They don't play them out here. They don't play them on the West Coast. I think maybe in the Southeast, in some pockets, maybe you'll be able to still see programming where you have Little Sambo or whatever,
Oh,
interacting with Bugs Bunny. You know, like if you saw that playing out here, if you saw that playing anywhere out here, it would be as a part of some art show where people are trying to make a statement. It would never be something that you would just see normal as a normal representation. That's not okay anymore. So times do change, we do evolve, but if we're not willing to do anything, I mean, what are you individually doing? And I don't think that the idea isn't, like I said, I was saying earlier, but I don't think you were on, was not conforming. Adapting to your circumstances and to your environment doesn't necessarily mean conforming for the status quo. Sometimes you do have to shake things up and remind people, that bullshit is bullshit. But um, I don't think things are hopeless. I just wish some people had more energy for solutions than they do for talk.
hmm. Yeah. I try to. That's why I try whenever I hop on Twitter, BTR, TRS. I try to contribute, even though hey, I've gotten a little bit, maybe had a little fun in the chat room here and there. You see me in there just talking shit, but
Oh heck
uh,
yeah, dude! Like I'm not gonna like just take no shit from no troll. I'm like, fuck you, troll. Come on, man. Let's do this. Let's do this.
you might, I don't know if Leon is in there. Uh,
Leon, I don't know. I recently saw, yeah, some like shit talking. I don't know if it's turtle face looking something. Turtle face be trolling their damn chat room. But yeah, some damn troll saying stupid things, just stupid. Just adversarial. Disagreeing with
yeah.
everybody.
But I try to contribute. Like I'm not the only thing because I'm not doing anything right now is because that was not my frame of mind. Past before 26, I'm like I was in a whole different. Now I'm like the after 26 going, oh crap, it's
Right.
getting Michael
Like,
Douglas.
oh damn. Right.
Really?
And that's as it should be. Like, I'm not expecting, my 11-year-old right now to be fretting over the things that I'm fretting over right now. I do not expect that. I don't want her to do that. It's not her lot. That's not her time. She can't do nothing about it. She can do a whole lot less about it than I can do, from this standpoint. Besides, like, just use her talents to the best of her ability. That's all I'm trying to do. Use my talents to the best of my ability. One of those is looking at something for what it is and calling it for what it is, regardless of my personal emotional connection to what it is. So I try to do that for people, to teach them how to do it and to just say what needs to be said when it needs to be said. It's not to get any fucking glory off of that. I don't like to see that either. Whenever I see like a little bit too much ego creeping in, like I'm this, I'm that, I'm the best on that with the platform over there, I shy away from that. I don't see Tyrone doing too much of that. I don't see him being too much of an egomaniac, but at the same time where he has his like I'll hold the door for you, ma'am thing, he also has this I'm the man and we supposed to protect the women thing. See, that's why I don't find his male complacency, to be genuine. It's not based on wanting to rescue women. It's based on wanting to secure his manhood. And his manhood is to be protecting womanhood because it's weaker. They're the weaker sex. This is a man who is an atheist who does not believe in the Bible. So where the fuck you get that weaker sex from? I can give birth to you. Don't tell me I'm weaker than you. Don't do it. I'm not stronger than you either. We're in this together. You know, I don't like that. So yeah, I don't like the coddling. I don't like coddling a bitch. And I don't like, kissing the he bitch ass either. I don't like it on either way. I'm not gonna be like, the penis is here. The penis is here. Oh my god, the penis is here. Look at it, it's just so big. I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, heck,
Likewise, I don't want you guys to be like the vagina. Bring in the vagina, mother of creation, vagina. I don't need you to do that. Let me speak for myself on my own merit, regardless of my gonads, and I'm going to do that for you. And we can have that. We can have a civil conversation that way. But if you want to do all that fucking dick and pussy shit, then that's a different conversation. It's just a different conversation. It's a different kind of conversation. One that I don't want to participate in. Because I've been done digested that role. And all of that. Like we don't live in a day and age where we can necessarily, just sit in our comfort on whatever we think, a man is supposed to be or a woman is supposed to be, because a girl can put on pants and a man can put on a dress if he wants to. Depending on where they're at, people will look at them funny. Seriously, depending on where you're at, a woman, if you show your ankles or your knees, people are going to be like, you slut, you fucking whore. So, and same thing, with a man. Like, if he doesn't have a wife, like, what's wrong with him? He's 23, he's not married. What's wrong with him? Something's wrong with him. Like, but I think we have to get better than that. Like, it's growing hurts, growing pains. Like, it hurts. I think it's stupid, but it unfortunately is like change. It just really hurts people to the point of screaming sometimes. They're screaming against the change. But like giving birth, it's like once that's done, God, you may have wrecked the body that it came out of. Some women die giving birth. But you have this new life and this new possibility and this new potential. You have this. If somebody did something right, if it was nurtured right, if somebody cared for it, if the fate said yes, if the cards were played right, then here you go. You got this new life and this new potential. And that person could be great. And this vessel never know. The thing is, like, you're here to do some kind of work and give birth to something. I'm just hoping that everybody that we are involved with, applies their energy to giving birth to something positive and raising something good, that contributes. I hope that we're not all just making a whole bunch of fucking whiny brats making noise. Like, it's just a waste of talent.
um, what's been going on at I haven't been there in a while because I've been hopping on shows and have a little personal growth. But anyway, well, you still there?
Okay, so connection went bad. Have to refresh the connection. Last thing I heard was Freddie saying, and I think that we had a good one. We had a good talk. Um, yeah, I think the link is probably the same to come back in. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, my internet connection. Okay, yeah, I was trying to ask you what has
yeah.
been going on ever since I haven't been on in like 3 weeks at the ladies' room after Repli got frustrated and said, "Fuck this, I'm hanging up." Couldn't stand. I can say I quickly.
Oh, after Styles. I don't. Well, the last time I tuned in, unfortunately, like on the Mondays, it's karate and grocery shopping day, so right in the middle of them doing the show, there's a couple of things that I'm doing, so I don't always get the last of it, but I do catch maybe the beginning from like 6:30 on, um, or 6:30 for me. I don't know. Yeah, you're West Coast too, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, like uh, they were having a couple of good discussions about parenting and taking care of your little people, and also, yeah, awareness of what's going on with things going on in the world, and what. what we're supposed to do about it. Like, TRS, like you were saying, like that's about the climate right now. Like, okay, shit's going down. So what are you gonna do? Um, and Afro Queen, one of her biggest thing is just that fucking awareness. Stop being a fucking dumbass. Like have your awareness, like turn it on. Turn it on. Like be present, and uh, and be powerful and be brave. Um, I think yeah, they're just doing a lot of like empowerment talks right now and just talking
Yeah,
about like, and that's good. Like I like that. I can take that vein because even though I appreciate TRS for the hash it out vein, I still feel like it's not monitored as well as it should be. Like I feel like I don't know. I almost wish that yeah, there needs to be some cross management or something there. Like
yeah.
Tyrone really needs to be able to do like some pep talks in peace because that's what he really is trying to do. He's really trying to empower and lift people up. He is, and that's why he's doing this. But unfortunately, he listens to too much bullshit. He's too easily swayed by a complimentary bitch. He's too quick to give his homeboys who need to shut the fuck up too much to the platform. He's not able to like moderate very well. And the ladies can moderate their asses off. They will cut to the chase with the bullshit. They know how to, appropriate things as they should be. Give a certain amount of time to this and then move it right along. And we don't need to take more time than we need to. If we're done, we're done. If we're not done, let's talk this out. So that would be nice. It is unfortunate that there had to be some separation there. That was a surprise to me, even though I was blamed and lumped in, you know.
You
Um,
no, no, no,
I
no,
know,
no.
I
You
know.
went over there. You were not blamed for it. It was. Oh my God. Well,
Oh,
your
you
name was
said that.
not
Oh, she kind of like made it not exactly. Oh, the Dick Whisperer thing. Okay, I forgot all about that. Fucking Dick
the
Whisperer
separation.
McGavin. Yeah.
Separation that happened between the Tyrone and Wolfpack. No, your name was not brought up.
Okay, good.
The name, the main names that are brought up are like usually it's like maybe it was Styles, so Styles said it, or it was Tommy.
That's right. Okay, I totally forgot about that. Okay, okay, okay. See, I was just thinking about a couple of, comments in the chat room where when I was present, where somebody's going, "Oh, well, Jeannie, just like those wolf packages or something like that." You're right. It was Styles, and they're leaving because of Styles. Man, yeah, that's unfortunate. That right there. Okay, I see both sides of that. I saw how Tyrone had no idea who Styles was. No idea. To his detriment. I mean, maybe if you're going to run a show, maybe you need to know who your guests are, even if your friends or whatever who are suggesting, hey, I'm going to bring this person on. Maybe you need to check that person out a little bit. But he hadn't, and there's no law that says he had to. He didn't know who the guy was. So he did not know his communication style or the fact that Styles is an adversarial communicator. He just is. He speaks like he's arguing with you, but he's not necessarily arguing with you. He's just, he likes to present his point of view in a stylish and definitive manner. So, definitive meaning like he'll present it as if what he is saying is gospel truth. Whether or not it is, he's open to being wrong, but he's still going to present his opinion like it's gospel truth. I kind of understand that. I almost do that myself, but I don't know. I think I'm a little bit more fair, a little bit more balanced. Like, this is just my opinion. Not like this is what it is. But, yeah. I think that Tyrone was put off by Styles, and rightly so. He was rightly put off by the man because he put some people off. He doesn't put me off because I understand his communication.
I
I
don't.
understand why he puts other people. No, I get it. I totally get because he has to like it's this alpha-ing kind of thing that he does with other men in the room. He has to assert his manly communication style, and he can very well tell me, Jeannie, shut up, bitch, you don't know what you're talking about, and I would just be like, and we'd be cool the next day. I can totally, I get him. I don't agree with him all the time. I don't agree with him half the time, but I get him. I get that he doesn't mean any harm, is what I'm saying. You know, he might seem like he does, but that's just manner. He's defensive. He's had to defend himself. He has had circumstances, like you understand, like you have your defensiveness and things that you'll be defensive about that are based on your own personal experience. And you don't necessarily blame anybody else for that, but you can't help but be defensive about certain things. He kind of just has this defensive mode of communication. He feels like he's got to fucking, just establish himself like a rock in every conversation. And
Now I'm
um,
kind of curious then. You were listening maybe a few minutes before, and I was real put off by him. Wait. I'm just like in whole conversation, right?
mhm.
And then you probably, I know you heard at least a few minutes before where I was just like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, was that him asserting his dominance in the
Yeah.
conversation?
Yes, that
I,
was him sword fighting. Some guys are like that. They're really
I
man's
was
man, and they have to freaking man, and men who aren't man's man make them kind of uncomfortable because they don't know how to be sensitive, or to display their sensitivity outwardly with too many people. It makes them feel vulnerable. They feel like they gotta be tough. He's a tough guy.
I was like,
Um,
damn, did I put him off or did I be like, because personally I thought it was like, whenever I have someone come at me like that, I always think something, it always makes me think, okay, because we were two polar opposites. Energy is a more of aggressive energy, um, more of a overly aggressive. Really, I'm more assertive and sometimes passive. So I instantly get more just super like whoosh, on a defense mode, and then I go into attack mode, and it's either yeah, just basically went from that to attack. So I'm going like, what do you want? That's why I
right, right.
just
You're like, huh, right. Hmm.
I'm like, so yeah, just my name. Why'd you mention my name? And that's how us Cali people are. We're like, well, hold on, you have a sign up that says, I love Freddie, or fuck Freddie, and it's like, I just would like to know. I'll be like,
Yeah,
well,
I'm just curious. Like, could you please explain to me
I
whatever your
don't.
problem with me is?
So I don't know if he liked that. I mean, he's from maybe Chicago. He's from Chicago or whatever. So maybe it's like after that, it just he didn't really like me too much because he thought I was BSing and trying to, you know, I don't know. I'm just like, did you think I was trying to beating around the bush? Because I
Okay,
don't.
let's see. My objective opinion of you guys' communication right there and communication style
I
would
don't know.
be,
Just like, what
I
was
would
it? Because
say, I didn't
but
see.
I've been
I'm
trying to
sorry.
figure that out the whole
I
time.
didn't
Like,
see either guy was wrong. Yeah, like I said on the show, I was like, let me just step in here and go, I hear you and I hear you. Like I was telling him, like, okay, you call him corny ass, cornball, square ass nigga, and this and that's based on your own set of prejudices, just like he said people like you, based on his own set of prejudices. Both of you have your own set of prejudices and preferences based on whatever it is that you prefer. That's okay. That's actually okay. It's fine. I didn't see anything wrong with the way either of you chose to express yourself. I didn't see wrong. Now, as far as my own personal communication preferences, I would probably fuse a bit of the two. I would take out your penchant for saying people like you, just like I would take out his penchant for saying you cornball square ass nigga. Put that away. Present your argument. Present where you disagree on a point, not where you disagree with each other's demeanor. Yes, he barks. Yes, he speaks however he speaks. You need to get to the point and throw out your picking on each other's speech. And I get it. I get it. I get people fucking up the language is kind of like nails on a chalkboard for me sometimes as a person who likes language, the art. I like lots of languages. I like sound and the way people have kind of made it into a game and mastered it. Language is it's a game. It's arbitrary. It's not real. Words change over time. They take over different meanings. Somebody can say that's cool. It doesn't mean the thing's actually cold. So I enjoy examining this, and it really hurts one of my feelings when I hear people fucking up some words because their ignorant ass is uneducated. It bothers me a little bit. But I don't think that that person is not worthwhile or has nothing to contribute. They just happen to have a flaw, which is a lack of education. A person who's educated isn't necessarily a nice person, a great person, or somebody I need to listen to. They might have something good to say. My personal pet peeve might be like, oh, I don't like yellow, or I actually love the color yellow. But what if I didn't like yellow? And it's like, oh God, that's yellow. Like I don't like, oh, pistachio ice cream. Oh, I don't like pistachios. That's all. What'd you say? You said axe instead of ask. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like axe is what you said. That's not the word. Ooh, I don't like that. But whatever. It doesn't mean that you need to die right now. I feel like both gentlemen said something that they needed to say that was based on wherever they were coming from, but communication got broken down because it became, this a sort of like a pissing contest. And I think that, you were right on your instincts to say like, okay, this is not a conversation, so I'm going to hang up, because you were interested in having a conversation, whether or not you disagreed. I just felt like if you had known Styles' personality a little bit better, you would have known that you could talk him through him presenting his sword. You'd be like, yes, I see your sword. I see your sword. It's very big. It's shiny. Okay. Anyway, my point with you is I disagree with what you said right here. I don't like that. I don't like
Oh,
what you said right here. What you said
okay.
right here about this thing. This thing is what I'm talking about here, not you and your damn sword. Yes, it's so shiny. It's so shiny. I can see my face in it. Look at me. I'm handsome. Okay, now anyway,
Yeah,
back to the
yeah.
subject.
Like what I said either. So I understand my own little prejudices and stuff. I do. I acknowledge it. I just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, Lovey didn't like it. She's like, people like you. I wasn't referring to. Maybe she thought she's
No,
the
she
way.
didn't like it, but she didn't check Styles on calling you a cornball either. You know what I mean? Like she knows him, but I feel like both Lovey and Afro Queen will give him a little bit more deference than they need to, because he does bark and he is aggressive and he does make things sound like a fight that aren't a fight. But they are friends with him. They've been in battles with him. Like they are comfortable with each other's aesthetic and they understand why he doesn't apologize for it. And I do too. I'm not as close to him. I don't, and I agree with less of what he says, I think, than they do. But I still get that, like, my friend Christy the hippy dippy. Okay, my friend this is hippy dippy and crystals, and she will crystallize you and talk to you about all hippy dippy, and then she will turn around and fuck up and make a big old mistake that she'll step in a big pile of doo doo that she let collect, and it's like, where's all your hippy dippy? Where's all your wisdom, huh? Where is it? That's still my friend, and I'm still not gonna stand there and let anybody talk shit about her, you know,
Yeah. Um.
because I
It's
love her,
funny.
and she loves me, and we know each other, and we love you. I know that she's loving, so they know his loving space, and you don't, and you're not supposed to. I think both of you guys
There's
did fine.
um, there's someone who was extremely hated on TRS. He's a big troll. He can be an ass, but sometimes he's very knowledgeable. Um. I'm gonna send you his name. I don't want to say it on here because people are gonna look at this, but
Oh, okay, you're gonna look at the
he sent me a message. Right? He was like, Freddie, how you doing? I was like, what do you want? We don't like each other. And
right.
then he's like, he actually said, um, I'm not mad at you. I think you're a smart guy. I was like, okay, thanks. Well, why are you chatting? Well, I just wanted to, make amends, and you're a cool guy, and just it's not really like that. Because they said, what was your problem with me? I said, I thought you had a problem with me. So it was really, if you know who, he really had a problem with Renee. I don't know if you.
We had a problem with Renee. Okay, Renee went off and did her own show and stuff like that. Renee is the one with the gay obsession, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
Uh, she, he doesn't like her, and her message about like mixed people and gay people and stuff like that. And he was asking me, what did you see in her? People were asking, what do you see in this person? And I'm like, well, um, I don't like her stance on gay or especially mixed folks, right? And interracial dating and all that stuff. Um, and she's an opposing view to mine, I wanted to give it a chance, but I really figured out it's not gonna go nowhere with her because we had a conversation on the comments call. And it's just not gonna work out. But
Mhm.
like, we're not gonna be like at peace with it. It's not gonna work. But he eventually he he eventually said, "Hey, let's just hash it out." I'm like, "Okay, let's just be cool." But I just hope he keeps in mind, which you can forget. I still feel a certain way about you, so you're gonna have to show me that how bad you want to make peace. So you're gonna have to, because it still feels a certain kind of way. Because past issues, basically, I didn't like it when he was interrupting my conversations, but uh, maybe that's how it was with kind of styles. Because I noticed that some guys who were like, "Oh, you're a cornball," blah blah blah. I don't like you. Yeah, you square ass nigga. I
Mhm.
got that from All Facts. I got that from Bone a little bit. I got that, or and I from Tyrone. They were all put off by me, right? And it
Mhm.
just like, is this again?
You know
Because
what? That's right. Yeah, you're right. I do remember that. I seem to recall them
I love
being like a little amused.
been about
Mhm.
before.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see. I come back and show. Oh, what's up? I'm sorry. It's Styles, man. You cool ass nigga. I'm sorry. I just thought you.
Ah.
No, it might be like that. Right now, I'm kind of like,
Right. Yeah.
what's right now? So
Yeah. It probably, you're probably right. Like, I don't think that he has it in for anybody personally, which is part of why he's able to communicate with Turtleface. But the other reason why he's able to communicate with Turtleface is because he also has similar women issues. Like he got problems with women, and it stems from his mother, and he just does. And the thing that I appreciate about Styles is that he's honest about that. I do not like a person who lies, especially to themselves. I know that people lie for different reasons. I certainly have told lies. I lied when I was a teenager who would get in trouble for what I was doing, and I didn't want my mom to whip my ass or take away my stuff or ground me or whatever. That's when I lied. But as an adult who is responsible for my own self, like why I don't care what anybody else has to say about what I'm doing. So why would I have to lie about how I feel or what my intentions are? So yeah, I prefer people who are like at least honest with themselves about what they're going through and how they're being. Like you were saying, oh yeah, I've trolled this one chick, and you know exactly what trolling is. Have the right definition of that and know that you're doing it when you're doing it. I respect that more than somebody who's actually denying it, even though they're doing it hard freaking core, like goddamn Turtleface. Turtleface is the biggest troll in this corner. He he started up the little troll game with these people. I don't know who it was. I don't. He doesn't have an original thought in his head, so I don't know who he was copying. He had to copy somebody's troll game, but he just blew it up to these astronomical proportions to where like when I disagreed with the guy, I got trolled, and it was just like, how come there are 10 people who are invisible in my comment section right now who all agree with you and say what you say? That's okay. How come tomorrow there's 10 more people, and how come the next day there's 10 and these are the same people? They're in my inbox and they're saying the same shit. Well, you are a mega fucking troll. And then when you point out that he's doing it, he denies it. Oh, that makes me want to just really just hurt him. And I don't have violence fetish. I don't I like horror movies, but I don't really need to take somebody down with a chainsaw or anything like that. But that guy will inspire you to delve into the darkest recesses of your soul and just imagine just 7 stages of Dante's Inferno type hell torture to him because he will lie about the shit that he does and say he didn't do it. It's worse than a person who does it. It's worse. People have asked me. I see the name. That's hilarious. People have People have asked me, see, speaking of troll, he ain't doing nothing but trolling. He ain't doing nothing but trolling. He ain't doing nothing. He just trolling. It's just something to do. So yeah, he doesn't have a personal problem with anybody either. But yeah, for one thing, for like Sirloin, who's what I call Kevin Smith, or Low Aptitude LA, they're doing what they're doing. They're saying stupid shit to me, whatever. Okay. But if I say, you said this, yeah, maybe they'll deny they said something and then you show them the screenshot and then they'll like deflect and do something else. But they're not going to say, that wasn't me who wrote that message. I didn't say it. And just stand there and say that like a damn lunatic. Like, you sent this message to my inbox, did you not? And for them to just be like, no, I didn't. That is you need killing. Like who you who are you and why are you here? You know, you're here to do nothing but make shit and filth. If you're not gonna be a G and stand up for the fact that you just stood right there and pulled down your pants and took a shit in the middle of the room, you're gonna act like you didn't do that. We all saw you do that. That was you. We can smell it. It was you. There's a trail coming from you. There's a and you're gonna and we had to clean this up or find a new room to go in or something like that. Like no, I can't. That's what I hate about Turtle Face. He makes a social mess and then acts like he didn't do it and leaves it for other people to clean up, and that makes me want to kill the animal. You know, like get rid of it. You know, the same venom he has toward black women at large on the planet. I wish they do what that happened in Auschwitz and they kill the majority of you bitches. I hate you bitches because I hate you black bitches. Okay, well, you know what? We hate you too. Isn't that perfect? That is special. We were right where we need to be, man. Because I hate your ass. And I don't hate too many people, but I hate your ass. And I don't even know you. And it's that lying. Yeah, it's not that you're an asshole who hates black women. That's not even it, because you're allowed. You're perfectly well allowed to have your preferences and your hate. I understand that you had a shitty mother and she fucked you up real good. So if you don't want to be with anybody who reminds you of her, I got you. I got you. You have that. That's unfortunate.
Do
But if you're
you?
gonna lie and say that you didn't do this, I want to just fucking kill my
I want
throat.
to. Do you think that do you think every black man who or do you think are there a lot of black men that have, when they told you they didn't really hate a black woman, um, did they ever talk about their mother badly? Because I had a good relationship with my mother. My mama
Ah, you
didn't do.
had a good relationship. Okay, good, good. You had a good relationship with your mother, but you still don't like um things that you see. But see, you don't hate black women. What you're doing is saying you don't get along with a lot of black women that you approach because you can't get along with them. Not that you will never approach them because they will never be attractive because they are black. You know, that's a different story. So you're not telling the same story as them. The guys
Yeah,
that go, fuck black women, they're all fucked up. I hate them because they're all fucked up and they'll never be right. You know, those guys, you know, you're saying I love my mom. Those guys aren't saying I love my mom. Those are I hate my mom guys, you know. And I think it's not really just a black thing. Like if you hate your mom, you hate your mom. That means you're hateful. You know, you hate you hate life, and you're gonna find something to hate today. You know, it could be black, it could be woman, it could be anything. You're just hateful. You know, I see past whatever label they're putting on the hate to the hatefulness. All you're doing is hating because your life sucks because you don't know how to be loving. Your life is just a hate spiral. And you want to die because everything you look at reminds you of the fact that you hate everything. Uh, you know, these are not what you are doing is looking at behavior that is unsavory and thinking that it reflects on you somehow, and that pisses you off. You know, I understand the difference between like the straight up bigot and then like the separatist and the racist and you know just like the humanist, you know, who's just like sees things and wishes they would change and can't do anything about it, and they really start to kind of get angry. Um, and then you start kind of putting labels on the anger. You know, I get how that happens. People like that, you know, people like yourself can be spoken to. Men who
yeah.
have problems with their mothers kind of turn really unreasonable, um, and you cannot reason with them. You can't show them any better. They presume that everything is the worst. They presume that everything's bad. They are not ever going to see a situation where they can admit that their ideas were wrong. You know, they want to stick with the problem. They're used to it. They're comfortable with it. It's because they were raised and rooted in it. They need the trauma. Some of these guys that come at me just do it to get an argument because they need an argument for the day. There's a joke I think on Bill Cosby himself or something, where he was joking about his kids needing an ass whooping before they go to bed. You know, he like telling them like, you know, you need to stop doing this or you're going to get in trouble. And they look at me as if to say, my good man, we understand. You know, we noted your feelings, but you see, we cannot sleep at night until we've had a good beating. Like there's some people they
Hmm.
get used to that. They find that those messages are love. And yet I don't know if that's good or not, you know, Bill. Like he could, you know, comedians be telling some truth that speaks to some real psychosis that they're dealing with. But yeah, I don't think that it's uh, it's I don't think it's good, but I just think it just is that there are some people who kind of need trauma. They're rooted in trauma, and they're gonna just fucking go for it every damn day. They're gonna find it. They're gonna find traumatic circumstances to explore and deal with. Um, and my thing is like to help in a way um, that allows them to at least acknowledge the problem so that they can get on with the day. Like we all have shortcomings and we all have challenges, but to deny that or to run away from the reality of whatever we are equipped with to deal with those things is just, it's not going to do any good. You know, you're okay, so I live on planet Earth, right? Okay, got it. And I am a human being. Okay, got it. Now I have these tools to work with. I got my thumbs, I got language, I can, open a door. If you can open a door, you can drive a car, you can, you can do something about what's in front of you. You can use what's around you in order to improve your circumstances. And I don't know, man. I can't. I can acknowledge that you might be fucked up, but I can't give you any passes for being fucked up. If you're fucked up, then you have to be addressed as fucked up. If your label is fucked up, like, oh, that one's defective, you know, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. If you're trying to put that defective thing in a position where it has to do something effective, it's not going to work. You're not going to. Yeah, you can't have no broken man for a leader.
That's interesting when you said that, when you made a distinction. Now, I think there's what Ray, Rhonda, and some other people are watching this right now. I don't know how many females are listening are here right now, but I just want to point something out. It's to you, and I just realized, and if they're watching like live right now, um, that black guy, other black guys, their mothers who hurt them, they really hate your guts. They genuinely hate your guts. They hate your dark skin. They hate your afro. They don't even like themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They really do hate. They really do. They do. Guys like kind of like myself, but we're not immune to it. But uh, what I realized for myself, right? I had I didn't know myself well enough to be able to articulate what I liked about black women. So I could not tell you no. So it was kind of this deep, deep void that said, I don't know. I ain't around you. It's like you asking me, hey Freddie, so how's Paris?
Right, right. I don't
It's
know.
like yeah, it's like I can't tell you, but I have all this stuff to say about white and Latina girls right now. Oh man, they're great.
You hang out with them. Okay, yeah.
And so, yeah, so it's like, and I always got sad and offended when they asked me this question because I'm just like it ain't clicking. What I have realized, and I'm gonna stick on my next two videos, five different episodes. I post them up, and I said I would. I know you saw my videos, so
Yeah, that you're gonna do a series. I
yeah,
think it. Okay.
huh?
You're
Trying to
gonna do a
post that.
series.
Yeah, serious. Yeah, well, I'm only doing it, but yeah, I have two today and then one Saturday, and then I'll try to do Saturdays after that.
Okay.
But I'm like, dude, some of us, some black men, we have not been around you at all,
Uh,
barely. Because when you say broaden our horizons, you need to mention, dude, we that's what when we do these things with other people, we're meeting women, but all those black women that we would have liked, they're lost in the trees like we are.
yeah.
They're hanging out with their Asian friends and their white friends. We don't get to meet them because we don't see them. And then we try to go back in the black community. It's like, this is you go back to the same type of women. You're like, I don't get y'all. I don't like y'all. Bye.
Uh,
So it's like so whenever I know I never really get to explain these things. It's like
I know. Well,
I
I
get
know. Like it was Bones trying to tell me, he's like, no, you need to go to Jamaica and go to Brazil. You need to stop it. Go somewhere and get you some black woman. And they're like, well, well, not right now. I mean, that sounds nice, but I can't right now. I'm sorry. Right now, it's me and Maria. I can't. Like my brother mostly dates. I have two brothers, half brothers, and yeah, both of my brothers mostly date Latinas. Um, I have an Asian friend who is Laotian, who's has really African features. Um, she's beautiful. Like she's gorgeous. She is. I love her look. Like everything about her look. She's Earth woman looking, you know. And my brother has such a thing for her. Like if she ran over one day and said, "Get this bitch out of here," he'd be like, "Bye, bitch," you know, and he would take her. You know? And he has a thing for long dark hair. He loves long dark hair. You know, he just loves it, and that's what he likes. He likes playing with hair. You know, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like it. It never occurred to me to think, well, there's something wrong with that. You know, there's something wrong with my brother's preference because there are actually, yes, he's dated girls from Belize who had long dark hair who were dark women. Um, he likes Latin cooking. You know, it has to do more with like what he's grown up around than saying like I won't date black women, but it's like he won't though. Like he really, he has, you know, he will, he does, but like his preference though lies within something more of a like a black woman who's Latina. You know, he won't
Yeah,
date just like a black American girl. Um, the fact that a lot of the black American girls he chooses are what they are is because of what he's choosing. You know, I never look at that and go, "Oh, my poor brother, he can't get none but a hood rat. No wonder he goes with these Latinas." That's not it. You know, like
yeah.
he could very well go and hang out in different circles, but he want to hang around some rats, so he's gonna be surrounded by some rats. Okay.
What do you? Can I ask you something now? As far as black women,
Yeah.
you run up on them. They might have a few kids or whatever, you know. Because I work in a big department store and I see some, you know, I see it. I see it all the time. You see kids, and I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
next kid, there's a daddy,
Kids
there's
in
a mom.
public.
I see it all the time, almost every day at work, right? And I'm like, what's the story backgrounds of women of why they dated outside their race and why they maybe they was it because they didn't like black men, they hurt them, or they just were around white guys, or sometimes I or Hispanic guys, and they just have this that was the dominant part. Like they went to school with a certain type of guy, and they just that that became the eye of their affection out. Like they were not around a lot of black guys, and or by the time they were, the seed of something else, they learn to love something else versus another. They learn versus a black guy who had not deeply seated himself in this black woman's psyche, to
Hmm.
where it's stronger than the other. So, I mean, what if a black woman told you?
Well, for me personally, like I've had a similar thing. Like it's just growing up around. Like when I go to school, most of the people at school are Hispanic or Asian, and the black kids are like we stick out because there are fewer, but there aren't so few that it's just like the one. You know, like the one kid at our school would be like the redhead or the kids who came from another country. There'd be like some kid who really their parents just came from somewhere else and they're learning the language and they don't speak English kind of thing. Like that kid sticks out. Um, or the wheelchair kid sticks out. Or the Sikh kid that has to wear the head wrap, you know, like that has to like wrap up his long hair. That kid stood out. Um, for us though, there was like there's enough black people for like there to be like groups of black people forming, but it wasn't such an exclusivist society that we didn't bleed out into other groups, you know. Um, we it naturally would, yeah, because most other people surrounding were, yeah, Hispanic and Asian. Lots of Hispanics here in the Valley. Let me think now. There's a girl that I know who's single right now who's gorgeous. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, she's one of those that, yeah, you would have like, you're like, oh, yeah, like I get her, yeah, she's black, she's traveled, she's gorgeous, she has Disney face, like she has actually worked at Disney, as a princess, like she's she looks like a Disney princess. She's a tango, salsa dancer, like um, but she's like single right now because yeah, she's not finding the right fit of person, and she also I think probably has, yeah, like she likes black men, she's attracted to black men, but there's a shortage of black men that she can get with, and she's wondering why. She's like in a sort of like she's an open person phase, but she kind of has her preferences. Like I think she likes a tall, dark, handsome man. So I I don't know. I maybe I can like talk to her because like we didn't grow up together. I've met her after coming here and coming back from my mom's home state in 2006. So yeah, I've known Ayana. Yeah, oh, that's been long enough. Yeah, I'll talk to her about that and like see what she says about her experience with her openness. Is it a struggle? Is it something automatic? Is it a preference thing? Like, is her not finding a black man that she can jive with? Is it something that she finds it like is a problem? Like for me, I feel like it's a human issue for people to have a hard time finding someone that they can get with alone, just period. Let alone whether or not you put any like parameters on it, like they need to be tall or they need to be black or they need to be in shape or they need to be thick or they whatever. Like there's enough people and their own ideas that make it difficult to just find like a friend that you can deal with all the time. Like even my friends, like I can't live with my friends. I don't want to deal with them all the day. None of y'all, hey, any of y'all watching, they're not watching, they don't watch this. We talk all the time, but I'll tell them right now, like I can't live with your crazy ass. We can live with each other. We tried it years ago. Went crazy, went bad. It's hard to find somebody that you can like deal with that damn much, period. Let alone somebody that you can romantically deal with. Like me and my husband are good partners partially because we can be honest with each other about when we get on each other's nerves. We can like just very outwardly express like, shut up, fuck you, and like and laugh the next second because we can let that aggression go in a very healthy manner. Like take out the trash, damn, fuck you, you take out the trash, no, you do it, and we're good, and not letting that shit build. We're good communicators with each other, but I, yeah, if I had like shut down based on his whiteness, then I would not be with him, and I'd still be having trouble finding a person to be with because I had that rule there. Like, okay, he must be cool, he must be smart, he must have something going for himself, and not need me to kiss his ass or coddle his ass, and he must not smother me, and oh yeah, he must also be the same skin color around, and this and that. I wrote a list when I was, before I met him, of all of the things that I really wanted. And he actually is all of the things that I put on the list. And the things that I did not put on the list are not on the list. Like I was very specific about physical things that I found to be important. Like I want a person who's complementary in height. I want a person who's complementary sexually. I don't want somebody who needs to do it more than I do. I don't need somebody who, doesn't, who I'm like, where is it in there? Or somebody who's like, okay, it's in my eyeballs. I don't need all, I put those things on there, but I didn't really specify skin because that isn't important to me, but if it were, I would put that on there, but I'd have to accept that, like, you're putting something kind of difficult on there. You might have to wait a little longer because you're not in a situation where you're surrounded by most of the people being the same skin as you, most of the people are the same skin as you or your relatives. You can't, you're going to have to wait a little bit. Yeah, like, I think Bone's a little right in trying to suggest that you travel if you're being specific. If on your list, if you have that specific, like must be black, but it's not on your list. You missed that list. You've you're just not there. But you do have like, you look in the mirror and you go, this is who I am, and based on this being who I am, I'm having this certain experience based on these circumstances, and I want to get into that, and I want to explore that, and I want to deal with what's real and what's, if there's a problem, we need to address it. Like, that's where you are. I think it's fine for people to be like, I think it's important to have a strong black family unit because we need more strong black family units. That's cool. I think that's good. But for me, the idea of family or community extends beyond that shared experience. I look at other shared experiences too. Like we have a shared experience in that we are from the West Coast United States. There's certain style of communication that we have that we can understand, and so we can relate easily, even if we disagree. I can tell you right now, Freddie, I did not like what you said right then and there, and it'd be like, fine. You'd be like, fine, and And you could, same thing, like, why'd you say that? That was dumb. And I'd be like, I know. Yeah, you didn't like that because you're this and that, and I'm this and that and that. We're able to make these connections. This is good. This is fine. It doesn't mean that we have anything against people. Oh, I see that. Yeah, you lost your connection. Speaking of connections,
Sorry.
yeah,
I
we
was
can
like,
make
what's
these.
this? Yeah, I was like, okay. So
No, no, no. But no, it's good. We can make these connections, but it's fine to establish other connections too. I don't like it when people shut themselves off for unreasonable reasons. If you want to shut yourself off because you're trying to make something stronger, I get that. But understand that what you're doing is still cutting something off. You're going to have to work with what you have within, that little, like you were saying, like, should we get outside help or should we just deal within our own community to solve problems within our own community? Should we take help if someone's willing to help? You can go ahead and say, I don't want none of your help, but that's fine. You ain't getting no damn help. It's same thing like with me and these things. Like my friend that I'm making this for, um, she's a burlesque dancer, and she brought me some things and she needed them embellished. Like she saw some stuff that I had done. She was like, I need some help with some costumes. I'm doing this new character and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I decided to take some things that she has and make them more flashy for stage. I don't want her to help me do it because I want to place the things where I want to place them, which means it's taking me forever to do some of this stuff. Like it's taking
you know,
forever.
sitting there for a while, I saw I looked at the thumbnail on the videos, and that's been sitting there for like 3 or 4 or
No, this
5.
has been sitting here for a while, like, because, yeah, it takes forever because I will not take any help. I don't sit here and do this thing all day. I've been doing this, like, I ran out of glue, actually. For some things I glue, for some things I sew. Sewing is the last shit I want to do because it's just tedious, it takes forever, but the end result is amazing. And, every costume that I make is like, I'm so happy once it's done, but, yeah, the process, it takes a while. And because I won't ask for any help with my process, that's what I get. No help with my damn process, which means that my process takes longer. And people know that if they ask me to do something, if you want it by a deadline, you need to give me that deadline. Because if you're just leaving it to certain, you might get it next year if you don't tell me when you want it. You tell me when you want it, you're going to get it when you want it. My friend's boyfriend wanted like a skull for his birthday, so I did this. And you know, he gave me, when he wanted it, and that's by the time it was done. But I still didn't want anybody helping. I don't mind anybody looking and going, oh, yeah, that looks good throughout the process. But when I'm putting my hands on something, I want my hands to be the hands that do it, because when you start to do things, you're going to put things where I might not have thought to do it, and I'm going to have to work with you in your process to put this thing together. And I don't mind collaborating. I'll do that, but a collaboration is a collaboration. My work is my work. Even my work within a collaboration. I'm doing my work with my hands on this side. You're doing your work with your hands on this side. Maybe we're blending in, but still, I'm not going to take a single credit for your bead. You're not going to do it for mine, even if we're doing this thing together. I'm feeling like if there are people who want, things to be a certain way and they want to cut themselves off from more help or more perspective, then that's what you get. Good luck, like, solving your problem. Like, and it depends on the problem. Some problems need you to cut things off and to isolate. Some problems really need to be, they don't need a whole bunch of, you don't need a whole bunch of like white people coming in and giving their opinion on this black problem right here. Just like for me personally, I find that there are some female issues that I wish guys would shut the fuck up about. Like I get tired of hearing men talk about abortion when it's never a choice they will ever have to face. Ever. Like I don't mind them talking about their feelings as parents. I do mind them talking about their choices in the clinic. Like you don't make my choices in the clinic. I make my choices in the clinic. You can have your thoughts about them, but they're my choices. Okay, and I'm not going to tell you what to do with your stuff. Like when you have an idea about being a parent and that power, the power to actually, bed down with a woman and create a life. You have your feelings about that. You feel strongly, man. Please do take full responsibility for the fact that you have that power and have your strong feelings about it. But you don't take away my ability and choice when it comes to, my stuff. So when you're going to cut, some things do need to be isolated. But I feel like if you're talking about a problem like racism in the United States, to isolate 80% of the population and only deal with this, when you're talking about racism in the United States, not black people in the United States, but racism in the United States. You know, you're talking about something that affects many people. Many people are involved. You know, how are black people able to experience racism? Because someone discriminates against them. Who? Oh, those people over there. You're going to have to deal with them in some way, in some realistic manner. And by throwing a blanket over them that says, ah, they all don't matter, never mind, it's not going to work.
Wow.
It's, you know, you don't want them doing that to you. I will never understand people that do that. I will never understand people that turn to racism to solve racism. I will never fucking understand that. You know, like going like, you know, the way that I solve this problem is by turning into the problem. Oh, God. I see too much of that, like, within this corner, you know, like, you know, people who are like, I think I was saying earlier, like, okay, you know, I won't mention his name, for instance, because if I mention his name, he'll get too excited and think I'm starting to talk shit. But this guy will one day go, you know, look at how cops treat us. Look at racism. Look at, you know, white supremacy. Look at this shit. And then the next day tell another black man that he wishes that his parents were dead. You just complained about this senseless death because you think that it makes, you know, you identify yourself with it. You identify yourself with this victimhood and this tragedy, and you think that somebody's supposed to then offer you a platform, and you know, you have your righteous indignation. You have the right to this anger now because you identify with this. But you took that same energy and applied it to condemning another person's life that you didn't know. You just applied the same you just went and said, you know, I curse this other person's life whom I don't know. You're not consistent. You know, I can't take you seriously. Yeah, you know, I'd rather deal with people who say what they mean and mean what they say, and they want to do something about it, or otherwise just not deal with anybody at all. You know, I'd rather, you know, that's my cutoff. Like, I'm not cutting off anybody based on their color or their income or the way they speak or whether or not they agree with me. I'd rather deal with people who, yeah, say what they mean what they say, and they're serious. When it comes down to it, you know that when they said it, they meant it because it's evidenced by their actions. You know, that's why I like, you know, the ladies of the Wolfpack, you know, why I like Afro Queen and Lovey. Like, you know, we've talked on Facebook where I am privy to certain parts of their lives where they're showing the work that they're doing, you know, and they're showing how they apply their energy, and they are women of their word, and I respect them so much for that. You know, and there are, yeah, so many women, men, people who are just full of crap. You know, they'll say something, but they don't back it up, or they just spend too much time focusing on things that don't matter, and they want a Twinkie or an award for it. It's just like, look, if you want to be shallow nothing, then just go be shallow nothing. Go listen to everything the radio tells you to do, and buy everything that the commercials tell you to buy, and you know, say all the words that you think are supposed to be cool right now, and you know, be afraid to be an individual, and you know, go run with the herd and fucking jump off the cliff when the fucking the first one jumps. You go do that. That's not my favorite type of person, but I'm not going to fight that person's right to be how they are. I really, really just prefer, yeah, people who are a little bit more powerful, a little bit more dynamic, and who are willing to deal with that opposite factor, that very busy evil. You know, it's busy. Evil is busy, and good needs to get busy. I think that in any case, you know, the ability to have this communication, even if we're complaining about how we get it, we have an ability, we have a voice, we have we have these tools at our disposal. I think that we are progressing. It just, I don't know, it never happens fast enough from an individual's perspective. You can look back at the course of 10 years, you know, but while you're experiencing that 10 years, you can't see the enormous change. But you can look back and see that, you know, things were actually happening one step at a time. As long as you seize the day and and stay true to whatever your passion is, because you are specifically driven in accordance with your own talents and gifts, and you don't need to have anybody else's talents and gifts or envy them or whatever. You work with yours because you got something that nobody else has. You have something that no one else has. That's why you're you. You get in touch with that, you know, and use that to affect your environment from as close to you as possible, and that it will have a ripple effect. It really will. I don't think people need to feel so lost and small and shit. I don't like that small talk. We can't do this. Look at what they're doing to us. We can't. We can't. It's like there are always assholes trying to run shit. There will always be somebody who has something or who wants to take something from someone that's just you're never gonna you're a mammal. Something's gonna try to eat you. Deal. You're gonna sit there and get ate up, or you're gonna run. You're gonna condition yourself for this, or you're gonna just be consumed. Like it's up to you. I can't feel sorry for you if you don't choose better for yourself, regardless of what the circumstances say. So I think, yeah, as we choose better for ourselves, like we little by little, empower ourselves and others so that we're able to make it so that those of us who are a little bit weaker at a time can be held up by those of us who are a little bit stronger at a time. And, we can keep things in play that way. I totally have full respect for, anybody who's like trying, like I just see so many people out there within this corner who are just they're upset because they're trying. They're upset because they kind of get depleted at the end of trying. So I'm just here to drop a little rejuvenation in there. I think from time to time to remind people that they are gifted and they are talented and they are special, and you have to seize that. Nobody else has the responsibility to remind you that, but you. Just get up, get out, get on with it, and get yours. And don't be afraid. And yeah, you can get oh God, I just don't think any prejudice has any place when it comes to these global arguments. We all get picked on. Like my mother was saying, she was starting to develop this immigrant prejudice. And what are these people doing but trying to live their lives? They're trying to feed their kids and they're trying to get through the day. Don't just blanket them. Don't just say people trying to come over here are all bad people. Don't just say black people are all bad people or white people are all out to get us. Don't. Just don't. It's not going to help you any. That's yeah, try that out. What has that done for anybody? Nothing. It doesn't get us. It doesn't get us any further or faster or beyond the circumstances that upset us. Ow. Sorry, I'm clipping my nails for my guitar practice. So now, yeah, you were saying that Ocean's gone from the thingy, huh? Did she
Yeah. Little birdie
did
told me.
somebody yell at her?
No, well, basically, the only person you can really get to Tyrone is Kim. So, really getting it, he's a little country bumpkin self.
Yeah.
So, apparently, after that, she's like, at least for now, she has her own little show called It's Only Ocean.
Okay.
So,
Tyrone,
yeah,
this was Ocean. Okay.
yeah. It's just only, and it's funny. I'm like, damn. And the funny part, she don't know this, but at first, I admired her, right? I guess everyone's a fool
Oh
now.
yeah, no, she's outspoken, and that's good. I like outspokenness. I just don't
Yeah,
like what she says when she's being outspoken.
I'm just like, as well, as soon as as soon as, and we were talking, and it's like, oh yeah, and I called up her, because she was kind of like, she's like, she heard her voice, she's like, oh, she's sweet like Jeannie, yeah, well, and so it was like, I'm going on a show, right? And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then all of a sudden, hey, a couple weeks later, what's I'm like, I'm like, um, uh,
Right,
and she's like, mm-mm. Ever since then, it was, oh, Freddie, huh?
right, right.
I'll tell sister stay
Mhm.
away from me. What am I gonna give him cancer now?
Yeah, right. Am I gonna give him cancer? Like, what?
I'm
Come
just
on,
like,
lady. You kind of
I'm like,
hateful.
people, okay, look, half the people, just the men alone in the chat room, right? I said, half the men in this chat room have played, what do you want to call it, the cinnamon snow, fence hopped, no, went to this side.
Playing in the cinnamon snow. What?
Half of them
Oh
have
my
done it.
No, that's true. That's true. It's like, okay, no, this is what cracks me up too, like about the other persons who I won't mention. See, I hate it when guys like that. Like, I've been married to in like whatever, pig dick sucker, whatever. I've been sucking the same pig dick for 10 years. Okay, it's the same one. You just said, "Oh, I'll fuck a white bitch," or "I'll fuck a white bitch." And I'm like, "Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you've had several. I bet, you know, that you did, that you saw some big booty and you did not care what skin was wrapped around it and you hit it and it happened last week. You know, you and your several hitting it, you know, and then, but I wouldn't marry a white bitch. Like you're not, it's not, you don't have any standards or principles. You just like some ass. Go get you some ass. You know, your civil rights struggle has nothing to do with your quest for ass. These are two different freaking categories. Two different. I'm thinking that, like, okay, oh man, okay. Okay. What is, oh, Ocean has the need to put white people down in order to lift black people up, and that's the shit I don't like. I'm like, you can lift black people up. There's wonderful thing. Look at your history. Yes, look at your history. Look at it. It's glorious. You know, you have a glorious, rich, and wonderful history and lineage. But as a human being on Earth, you also have some parts of your history that are ugly too. You know, acknowledge those too. And don't say that those ugly parts are all due to white people. They're just the ugly parts. You know, they're the ugly parts. Just like white people, they've got the ugly, 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 nasty, terrible, tyrannous, horrible history. And then they also have the beautiful things that have been contributed, you know, by all of our peoples. All of our peoples have made some wonderful art, technological advancement, you know, medicine. We've all contributed to making this happen, you know. So I think we all need to be included in the conversation when it comes to how we fix our fuck ups, you know. But unfortunately, people like to, you know, use their words and put labels on shit, and then they get all distracted. You know, I don't feel the need to. I can identify that you're a piece of shit, but I don't need to. You can be a piece of shit, and I can still wish well for you. Like I don't. There's nothing in me that says like I'm better now because you're a piece of shit. Like it's like you're still a piece of shit and you stink. I gotta deal with you. I wish you weren't a piece of shit. Can you try to like morph into something less than shit? How about we spread you up and fertilize something with you so something can grow out of the shit that you're creating? I really, really don't want there to be just, yeah, like just shitty people walking around feeling shitty. You know, that's not my favorite. You know, so yeah, when it comes to like people like Ocean and stuff, it's like you know, I feel like, yeah, Tyrone should be letting everybody talk, including, you know, Ocean's ornery fucking, you know, hybrid hating ass. Like, go on and, you know, speak your truth. Um, I feel like I wish he would be more objective, you know, like you do too. You know, I wish he wouldn't like be like, okay, well, it's a girl on the line, so let's, you know, come on, yeah, pull out the seat for you, ma'am, and let's sit down, let's massage the shoulders, and you know, we ain't got to do all that. You know, just let everybody say what they gotta say, get it out, get it forward, get it moving, and moderate so that everybody, I said let everybody say what they got to say, not just like MandelaCon and all facts, you know, like let everybody say what they've got to say.
We
And
were
then,
going
you know, like,
facts.
yeah.
It was funny because every time All Facts comes on, his two catchphrases, hold on, and listen to me, listen to me. But he was kept on saying it. We kept on typing it.
Listen to me. Hold on, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Hold on. Oh my God. Factually. Concepts. Concepts. Challenge the concepts. Listen to me.
He did
Like,
challenge our
if he
yeah,
removed those things from his vocabulary, like that, and that's fun for me. That's fun. Like, oh my God. Like, yeah, sometimes I will, you know, tune in and I'll make a bet with myself. Like, okay, as soon as it comes on, like after I hear Blog Talk Radio, I'm gonna hear factually concepts, you know, or after I hear Blog Talk Radio, I'm gonna hear Tyrone, this is Ocean, Tyrone hybrids, or after I hear Blog Talk Radio, you know, I'm gonna hear and this motherfucker, you know, here, da 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 da, you know, like I'm just telling myself, like, is it gonna be this mood today, or is like goddamn, you know, Big J, you know, calling and stuttering about his anger, you know, like, you know, what's it gonna be? And it's always, yes, one thing on the freaking little see and say. Like I just pull the string and it's one of these things, you know, that I hear when I first tune in, and that can be like a game. That can be fun, you know. Like I said earlier, I love communication. I like language, and even when it grates, even when I see people who are bad communicators, it's still a delight for me to have the experience, you know, just to know the difference, you know, like this is fun, this is fun. So I can listen to you go through all that shit, but at the same time, okay, do I prefer it? No, like that's not my preferred platform. I can't listen to it too much right now lately. Like I don't like when it comes to like problem solving a problem. I listen in just because I'm kind of protective of it being open and being there because I knew Turtleface attacked him hardcore and that shit ain't right. And Low Altitude kept trying to pop into this chat and they kept sending me
Huh?
these stupid messages. Okay, sorry. Okay, like I was saying, no, but I believe in like free speech for everybody. People attacking dude's platform is BS. You know, anybody's. Even people wanting to shut Turtleface down. You want to shut Turtleface down? Don't shut him down. Let him scream in the middle of the damn street. Give him a fucking megaphone. Give him a glittery megaphone. I seriously wanted to bedazzle a megaphone and send it to his ass. Like here, you need something sparkly that lets you yell every day. Here you go. Like do it. Everybody, have your platform. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do
Um,
you
Go ahead.
do you think it's a okay? Well, well, I guess since I used to, well, this is, I used to listen to Tommy, and
Yeah,
I stopped, and I haven't listened to since February because I've been on other shows now.
yeah.
Do you know how that happened with because do you know how that happened with that beef with Tariq? Because I know the Tariq end
Oh,
because
the
I listen.
Tariq thing. Okay. Well, I know that, pardon me, when he was out here staying in whatever cottage, that he was calling a mansion or a mini mansion, he was staying in like this little cottage, little guest house or something up in the hills next to an actual house. He had, well, Tyreek explained part of this, that Zoe Williams was doing a show, something happened with his connection or something, and Tommy offered to host, a show there. And then he used that video to say, oh, should I have breakfast on and, should I do this all the time? Should I have these things happen with Tariq Nasheed? Because it's probably just a bid to try to get, Tariq on board. So he met with him here. They had that breakfast thing here. He has mentioned that he'll use hidden colors as one of the perks in his giveaways for his fundraising thing. Um, but and Tyreek donated $1,000 to the Fatherless America thing, farce, fraudulent America. But he didn't do anything to like I don't know, like align himself with the project necessarily. But Turtleface was running around saying like that anybody who had talked to him in the past 6 months was going to do this movie and was going to be involved in this movie. Apparently he did get the Tim Alexander guy to actually bite and go and help him with it. The Tim Alexander that did the Diary of a Mad Black Man, imitation copy Tyler Perry movie thing, if you can call it a movie. But anyway, yeah, the guy finished his project. He did his project. He's an angry black man, and wanted to make an angry black movie. He did it. Fine. So Turtleface reached out to him. Will you be a part of this project? Fine. The guy said yes. I believe Turtleface has been reaching out to all kinds of people and presuming that anybody who like answered was going to be a part of this or help him, or at least reported that they would, or try to make it look like they would, because Turtleface's thing is he's a scam. He's a hustler. It's every day. It's day by day. He will lie. He just uses words. He does not mean anything he says in any real sense. He just kind of uses words in order to get a reaction or to get something happening. He will tell someone he loves them. He will tell someone he hates them. He will tell the same person both things depending on any given day just to get that person to react in the way that he needs them to react in order to get done what he needs to get done. And what he needs to get done is to have some sort of income that is consistent so that he can have the child support people off his ass, I guess. Like he owed a whole lot of money in child support that if he were actually able to raise $38,000, and I don't think he did, but that would be able to, really help him, with that paying off of that child support. He's he's got these mugshots. He can't get a regular job. He is this angry person. That's a whole other, separate part of his being. But that's what gives him the energy, to be able to run his scam. His it's fueled by his hate, but the scam is really just about, getting him some resources. So he'll pick a fight with someone every day. When I first came across him 2 years ago, he had already gone through like six, I think I counted this other, maybe five, six, seven other YouTubers where he had picked fights with them. And they were like, what the hell is it that you picking a fight with me about? And they all went different ways depending on whichever person's style of communication. Some people are of the mind to come at you the same way you come at them. Some people don't. Some people come at you differently or sideways, whatever. But he had all of these different interactions with all these people that were all just there. They're just trumped up. They're just, it was just there to create some sort of controversy so he could build his numbers. He's I saw a huge leap in his numbers after I had interactions with him a couple of months into it. There is a person named Happy Cabby who made a video laughing at him because Delu had sent Happy Cabby this dude's video. And Happy Cabby was an atheist with a lot of subscribers who's also like a balloon art guy. Turtleface got really pissed off about, I think, being exposed to a larger platform, and he chose to react to that in a very weird way. I could see that he started to purchase more views and subs in these astronomical amounts in order to combat the argument with this guy. He wanted to try and exploit the argument with the guy and say, oh, you think that this guy's famous and he has all of this support. Well, look at me. I'm famous and I have all this support. But then he wasn't able, and then he like takes off on this tour, but he hasn't, for the life of him, for damn near 2 years of running around, been able to actually prove in real life human breathing beings the numbers that he suggests that he has. So I think he tries to use people like Black Authority or people like Tariq in order to validate and try to like build up some actual human body numbers to go with the numbers that he kind of built, purchased too many of in order to do this little fight thing with Cabby.
What is the when you buy, what's the purpose of buying views? That just gets you
It makes it look like if I had, if you came to my channel and 10,000 people were watching my videos, you might think that I was popular. That's it. Like you just spoke from your common sense right there. You were just like, what the hell does buying views do? Nobody watched it. Why do you buy views? Right? People like Turtleface buy views in order to appear like something they're not. Anyone could purchase views and stick them on a video and say, look, I got a lot of views for this video. Or they could just do a good video and get a lot of views for it. Or they could do some clickbaity shit. When I first came across him, he was doing the clickbait stuff, which is making his title into something that he knows people will click on. Like, black women, blah, blah, blah. Somebody will click on that. Or, something killed. Anything killed. Anybody murdered. Anybody ass. Somebody will click on that. Just make a video called ass. It will get a lot of clicks, clickbait. He started off clickbaiting. Then he went into the purchasing, but it was always to look like he's more than he is. That's the only reason why he does it, is to look like he's more than he is. There are some people who want to look like more than they are because they're trying to advertise for their brand or whatever, and he is one of those people. It just is unfortunate that his brand is like hate. He's got a hate brand. His sticker is hate, 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 hate. He'll hate you, and I hate you tomorrow, and I'll hate you the next week, and I'll hate on you, and I'll get around to you. I hate you too. Just give me a reason. He just wants to hate everything and everybody, and he'll put black women on that. This week it's Jews because that's his thing against Tariq. He's trolling his ass off saying Jews. You don't even understand. He's in the fucking JT Riley group saying Jews. He's in fucking 50 other Facebook groups right now screaming Jews. He's on 50 YouTube videos right now screaming Jews because that's his thing right now. Hate the Jews today. That's his thing right now because that's the thing that he can do right now. He's like, oh yeah, the Jews. It's just a fail safe. Like, what do I got in my pocket here? Black women. Oh yeah, black women. If I think he's tried everything. I'm sure he's tried clickbait titles that say white men, white women, black men, black women, ass, sex, death, rape. Everything. Prison. He's tried every clickbaity phrase he can get and found that for his money, the greatest thing he can do, is talk about black women and tragic circumstances. Yes, it's all to make himself look like what he's saying and doing is relevant, but it's a scam. It's a joke. I feel like Tariq is something of a scam too, but it's like, I don't know, he's an open scam. I have more respect for an open scam. I have more respect for a person that says, I'm trying to do this so I can make some money. than a person that says, I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because I'm a hero. I'm a superhero with a cape on it. You know, that's what Turtleface be acting like. Like, I'm doing this because black men, we need a voice. And, you know, we have never been able to talk. Like, shut the fuck up. You're not the first black man to stand up and speak for himself. Who the hell are you? You are some weirdo talking is what you are, and you want to get monetized and make money, and you're a weirdo talking. That's it. That's it. That's fine. We can all be some weirdos talking, make some money off being off some weirdos talking. But please don't tell me that you're a goddamn superhero, because I can't. I can't. You know, I feel like Tyreek is actually, you know, did some footwork and did some leg work. Like, he's doing some stuff. Like, I don't like him. You know, there's something about him that is just too arrogant, too cocky. I feel like he complains too much. You know, that kind of like, you know, the person that puts some other thing down to make themselves feel better kind of thing. Not my favorite. I understand if you're looking at a hood rat and saying that hood shit is fucked up. I don't like it if you're saying, now look at that bitch. You shouldn't act like that. You should act like this. And look at my bitch. Look at how my bitch acts. You know, that I don't like. I don't like that. You know, so I feel like
Okay.
he's kind of that. You know, I feel like he's like an egomaniac of sorts. But he doing the work. You know, he's doing the work. Do something. You know, I can't stand Turtleface for trying to cheat the work. You know, he's trying to cheat.
When I something you said earlier about your mother who actually saw a problem, you know, with trying to talk to the boys, went to city council and all that.
Yeah.
Um, it reminded me of why I even came on here. Like, you know, um, darn. It it reminded me of why I even why I would come on here and uh, you know, explain my stories, do what I do. Because what I saw was a lot of neglected people in the community. Um, uh, neglected. When I mean neglected, I mean neglected. Um, more so the middle class. This lack of communication between, you know, people who weren't so well off and people who aren't, and people who I wouldn't say well off, but they have a little bit more resources. And
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you
Oh.
got us painted all wrong.
Wait, hold on just a second. I have to open my door because there's like some city inspectors that have to come and look at stuff. Hold on just a second.
Okay,
Be right back.
all right.
Hold on just a second.
Spin dress. Okay, if you guys are listening, now that Jeannie's away, I'm gonna take over the show now. Okay, let's talk about my fun self. Since I'm probably being recorded, I have 6 pairs of socks, buckets full of candy. I'm just fucking with you guys. Everybody. Oh man.
Okay, I'm sorry, Freddie. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was trying to take over. I was trying to take over the Hangout show, but you ran back. Damn it. No.
You're like, okay, this is
What I,
Google Hangout. What's up? This is Fred. What's up, ladies?
oh, no.
No.
What I was saying was when I saw a problem in the community, I saw that there was a lot of lack of neglect, right?
Hmm.
Um, 'Cause we have so many. So you get so much. You get all this perspective from like the pro-black and you know the gangster world and all. So like this one take what's really dumb. Like,
Right, right, right. The real talk. The real talk. I'm doing the real talk for the gangsters.
as a,
Like
I'm
the
like,
nigga with the tattoos, you know, him, or the revolutionary.
yeah, some revolution. I'm like, dude, we ain't all with you. Because to be quite honest, I don't have to deal with. I don't have. And I know it might sound ignorant to say, but now I know I could be shot anywhere.
Right.
But a lot of these brothers' problems, I, I didn't have to deal with. And I'm like, I
Right.
don't have to deal with y'all getting shot in the back and gang violence and just all that other stuff that streets. I'm like, and I'm like, that's why I have more. I do more. Listen, hold on. I gotta do something too. I'll be right back.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, hold on. Okay.
Don't judge me. He is a big guy. Yeah. No, no, oh, he won't do anything. Oh, yeah, he's the guard cat. There you go. He will not actually do. 15 years and spit at me. Really? His hiss is worse than his scratch.
He'll attack you. I'm thinking, no way. And I walked by the couch, and the cat took a wipe at me. And I
he did?
Are you kidding me?
This one will not attack. He just speaks.
Probably smells dogs on my shoes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He'll come after some dogs, too.
Okay, you can back real quick.
Yes, yes. There's somebody back there.
We'll be brief. Second smoke on.
Okay.
Goodbye. Pew, I'm back.
Never really talk to us.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. Do you mind if I'm nosy for a second and just ask? I heard part of your conversation. Were you having issues with the person, like, not speaking so that you're able to understand them? Was that part of the issue?
Well, we have I have a problem even in the office.
Yeah.
Because to get a job at the city of Los Angeles, you take a test in English.
Okay.
Okay? And I'm not a bigot.
No, I was just talking about something with a friend. That's why I was asking you, for your he's making faces right now.
Oh, so
I was just talking with a friend about my mother who worked property management out here. And one of the things that she said to me was when she moved back home to Alabama, she was saying, what I didn't like, Lauren, was I was really starting to develop, this real prejudice, this bigotry toward Latinos and Hispanic people because of what she was dealing with in an economic sense. For me and my generation growing up, I'm just like, yeah, most of all my friends are Latino and Asian, and we're all hanging out. And me, learning to speak Spanish just from, the nature of association as I'm growing up was a perfectly normal acclimation for me. But for her generation, looking at this, looking at a high influx of people coming into a system that can't sustain it. She was looking at, things that were, changing that she didn't like and couldn't necessarily affect, and she was not wanting it to turn into an issue that made her looking at people wrong. So I totally hear you when you're saying, look, I'm not a bigot or anything. I'm just talking about these damn tests, and I heard you talking, and I was curious about what you were facing.
I'm in the office, and we have a good percentage of Hispanic people in the office.
Right.
And that's fine.
Yes.
And they all took a test, and they took the test in English. But why do they have to speak Spanish in the office when they could all speak English very well?
Right.
And it doesn't, even if they were speaking another language, I don't care what it is.
Right.
If I'm in the same room.
Same conversation.
Yeah, or even I'm in the same room, it's just rude to speak in another language. I mean, it would be different if the other person didn't speak English.
Right.
Or communicating.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's, like one of our Spanish speakers is speaking to a constituent who doesn't speak English, I got no problem with that.
Right.
Knock yourself out.
Because that's communication.
You're helping me because I don't speak Spanish.
Exactly. But if our thing is the best communication, then why are you cutting me off if you're able to communicate with me? I feel like you're.
An inspector in our office who, his mother was from South America. He spoke. He was an Anglo guy. He spoke Spanish.
Oh yeah. A lot of my Argentinian friends are fair. Look at them, you wouldn't know that they're Hispanic.
His dad was like American, and his mom was from South America, and he didn't appear to be Spanish at all. In fact, his name is Michael Kuhn, Kuhn.
Right.
And he said he got a pleasure out of it because he spoke fluent Spanish because he learned it at home. When he would go into apartments, and somebody bad-mouthing him in Spanish, he'd respond in Spanish. And I'm like,
I love that. That's hilarious.
Sometimes I wish I could do that, but I'm too old to learn Spanish.
No, you're not too old to learn anything. But no, you're fine the way you are. Thank you so much, you guys. Okay, you too.
I'm too dark to learn Spanish.
You too dark.
Damn sure that.
I'm too black to learn Spanish. You too old, I'm too black. Oh my gosh, it's
No.
so funny. No, funny that they were talking because you know what? Yesterday I was even talking to a dude about language because he was talking. He was saying he's Armenian, his wife is Russian, and he was talking about just different ways of communication that they have. And I was saying, yeah, the one thing that I wish that I could, like, if I had the magic wand, I could rub the genie or whatever, I would learn to speak all languages because that would be so damn useful. And the dudes, the inspectors that just came in, they just had to check the smoke detectors or something. They're with the city, and they were just talking about how yeah stuff going on in the office where people speaking Spanish around them and they can't understand and they can't speak English and it's kind of frustrating because they think they're being talked about, you know. Um, and I was saying I was just talking to a friend online actually earlier about yeah just some little like culture clashing things, you know. But like that's what I like to do, like what I did just there. Like these dudes were just coming in and inspecting the building. I happened to hear a part of their conversation and it sparked my curiosity and I talked to them about it and I don't care that they're the inspectors for the city. I don't care that they're men. I don't care if they're white. I don't care. You know, I have a question and I feel like you know, I'm going to present this question. The worst that's going to happen is that you're going to tell me, hey, you nosy black bitch, shut the fuck up. It's none of your business. And why are you asking? And then I can go, because I was curious and I wanted to know. Now get the fuck out of my house, cracker. You know, I can do that too. You know, like it's still, I think, like it's just yeah, it's better for us to just have a little guts when it comes to dealing with our problems, especially when it comes to like communicating with each other, because we can't get past the shit if we like keep the shit all bottled up, and then yeah, it turns into people like fucking Turtle Fist, where you just have like Tourette, you know, you have like you don't deal with your communication of your emotions in a healthy manner because you don't build up the practice. I don't know, it's like anything else that you get strong at. You know, the more you do it, the stronger you get at doing it. So, I'm sorry, but you were saying
I was
something.
going on. Yeah, because what I saw a lot of things neglected in our community because of the big some of the big issues we all can't tackle the same issue. Some you have to tackle economics, some have to tackle you know, yeah, unfortunately, you got to have people who roll hard for a black, so-called black ocean. You got to have your little, for, you know, people who advocate for that team, you know. Got
Yeah.
to have your, yeah, you got to have people, you know, got to have supporters, and you got to have people like me who just, like, all right, I'm concerned, okay, the state of, you know, young black males and you know, mixed children I got in my family. Yeah, I might produce one day, I don't know. Stuff like that, just, uh, and that was my concern. You know, people. I mean, black people who were lost in the fray. I'm like, hey, you're gonna get a nigga wake up call soon. Like, yeah,
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yes. So that's what I kind of started talking about. Like when I it turned to I was like, okay, I'm just talking, you know, just stream of consciousness. And I was thinking about how I think it's kind of rough for people right now who can't adapt or who can't grow or who have less in terms of common sense or education or resources or whatever. Like it's rough right about now. Like yeah, that wake up call is coming. And at the same time, you know, being reasonable, like how do we deal with that? Well, you know, losing our minds and going ape shit is not going to help. We got to be reasonable. You need to stay centered and balanced in order to be able to, you know, make the best move, you know. But I I understand what you're saying is that like what you were looking at was like yeah, people kind of disenfranchised and being left behind, and it's scary, you know, it's panicky. You're scared for them. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm concerned. Like when I look at news reports, like I was saying earlier, I don't discount your humanity or your the wealth of your contribution based on your inability to articulate what you're saying, but I can still notice that your inability to articulate yourself, no matter what language you speak in any country, like your inability to articulate yourself denotes a lack of education, and your lack of education is going to cut you off, you know, from people who are more educated than you. They're going to leave you behind, and they're not going to care that you are lacking this knowledge if you do not go and get it for yourself. So it hurts me to see you know, I don't necessarily want to see everybody like do like yeah cookie cutter, you know, speak like me, talk like everybody, speak like a newscaster or like you're from the West Coast or something. Not that, but like, you know, for instance, my auntie, it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, auntie. My mother's sister is celebrating her birthday today. She is an educator from Birmingham, Alabama. She teaches black children to be wonderful people, and they don't all necessarily reflect a cookie cutter idea of black citizenship or American citizenship or anything, she makes sure to empower them and teach them how to, I come from people who teach you how to find the information, that you need, find the information that you need, find the resources you need, find it, find it, find it. If you have a breath in your body, you use it. If you have a hand, you use it, you put your hands on it. If you can, make something move, you push it. She's very good at, like, her kids, they take off, they take off and they go to the next grade. They come back and thank her. Oh my goodness, it's fine. Thank you so much. Blah, blah, blah. It was so easy because I had you. Because uh, if you have, just that, the basic resources of, first of all, knowing that, like, you are capable, you have some capabilities. Take account of what you have that you can work with. It may not be as much as somebody else has, but you still have something to work with, if you take account. And then, if you're willing to sweat a little, if you're willing to actually, apply yourself toward your own benefit, then that's going to have an effect on the people around you. People will see you do it and know that they can do it. Or people will be affected by what you do, or you showing them how. You can show them through actually showing them, or show them through your example. I don't feel like, that like you feel. Like, I do feel like reaching out. Like, I don't feel like people are all hopeless and shit. It upsets me when I look at the news for what's going on right now, like in St. Louis, or what has been happening with water situation in Detroit, or where else right now? Toledo in Ohio. It upsets me when I see people being interviewed that don't seem to have the language to get in touch with what they want to communicate and what they want to have done. Because if they did have that, then the people who are taking advantage of them wouldn't be able to do it so easily. And I do feel like, yeah, there is sort of a civic responsibility that those of us who have a better command of expression, that we help people who don't, just either, by the example or by the actual, hands-on. But I think the example works well enough too. There's a lack of exposure, I guess. I think I do get a little spoiled in that, I live with an IT person. Technology is open to me, as far as the eye can see. Like, my computer does every damn thing I need it to do, and I can access everything that I need to access, and I do not have to pay full price for nothing. And there are some people who don't have access to this information superhighways easily. They got to go to the library to get free internet, and they got to deal with what the internet, whatever equipment they have, whatever connection they have, or they can't pay for a connection at home. They got to use public Wi-Fi, and so that limits their hours to be able to, tackle things that I have, like, endless time to be able to get on. One of the things that was really pissing the turtle crowd off about me is that, like, he's doing all this hardcore trolling, but I'm catching him. I'm catching it because I have time. I have time to look at. I make my own schedule. I can do what I want when I want with this machine, and nobody can tell me otherwise. So I've been able to catch up with everything everybody's doing. And what I'm doing with that is, instead of being a dick like Turtleface and taking advantage of people who are easy to manipulate, I'm trying to help them to at least get to the source of what their anger is. You can keep putting that label on it if you want to, but the problem is that, the problem is discrimination, or the problem is unfairness. The problem is inequality. That's the problem. You can say that a white man did it. You can say that a black woman did it. You can say that a black man did it. But the problem is, this action and the circumstances that allow this thing to thrive. So you need to attack that. You need to attack the circumstances, not necessarily the color people. You're not going to get anywhere by sitting down and going, you know what? Y'all niggas ain't shit. That's what it is. Y'all niggas just ain't shit, and y'all ain't going to go nowhere or do nothing because y'all niggas. That's not sensible. And same way, you can't be like, these crackers, they have to get us. They hate us, and they have to get us, and they hate us. And they've been planning this all along because they all hate us. Like, you're not gonna get anywhere.
I don't understand why black people, they're not all okay. We both know. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to generalize. I know, in my own personal life, Freddie knows what it's like to be a black face in a white place.
Yes. I like that. Black face and white face. Listen, no, my friend on Facebook today was even saying, or maybe yesterday, a lady who I worked with a fashion show. I put on this show and she brought some fashion. She did some big girl fashions, gorgeous. I'll put up like videos and stuff so you see kind of stuff I'm talking about.
I was trying to I was
But
trying
no,
to say
go ahead. I'm sorry.
there's there's this city that I've been to before. I haven't been to it much. I've only been 3 or 4 times. There's this place called Lodi, California. I don't live there, but Lodi, California, right?
Lodi. Okay, yeah, yeah. I think there's a
Yeah,
song about Lodi.
Lodi,
Oh
Lodi.
Lord, stuck in Lodi
Yeah,
again. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Okay.
basically when I've been there, um, this is one of the whitest towns I've been to, or an
Okay.
area, and I'm like, ain't no way else trying to kill you, hang you, beat you up, they'll avoid you. And it's like, those
Right.
country folks, they're more interested in knowing what you doing here than what y'all doing here. They don't like
Right.
what
Like, where you from? Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I say if you really, I mean, if the white people, if you have anyone to worry about, us the ones that making all these laws, and or who might be like police cops or something, where you have to be some bigoted towards you, smile in your face and do some shit behind your back. You don't have to worry about, okay, I'll just say, you don't have to worry about the white people that are running from you.
Right, right, right.
That don't want to be around you. You don't have to worry about them.
So funny. Oh no, you know what? That's true. Okay, now that's me and my husband's chat about that. Our thing is, like when I've mentioned before that there's an extreme amount of trolling within this particular sector, and that I've seen like Turtle Face's trolling shift from like today it's the Jews, and then one day it'll be white people, and one day it'll be single mothers, and one day just depending on whatever headline he's pushing that day. And so I was saying, like, look at how, it's upsetting to me to see how people like fall for the trolling, because they'll believe that, 20 white people attacked them today. These 20 white people came and attacked them today. You'll never see them again. You'll never hear from them again. But these 20 white people supposedly came to your page and your channel and they attacked you today. And I'm just like, oh my God, people don't understand how heavily they're being trolled, because white people who hate you stay away from you. They do not consort with you, just like black people who don't want to deal with white folks. They don't. Okay, they find their nearest little, Nation of Islam mosque, and they fucking wrap it up, and they black it out, and they do not consort or associate with that which they hate. That's why I also tell people too, like, if you're dealing with a person who is, if you're dealing with a person who's actually, you can see their face and they're a racist and they're coming at you and they're saying racist things, they love you. They love your black ass, because otherwise they'd stay the hell away from you. But they come to see and check on you because they're like, look at them niggers. Look at what they're doing. Look at those black
You
niggers.
gotta go get it. Come on, they went out.
Look at them. Look at what they're doing. Like, you looking at me because you like looking. Okay, I get that. I understand that. Like,
You're
you're
not
fascinated.
trying to
You're
keep.
turning your fascination has turned to racism, but it's fascination. You know.
That's a
Uh,
Yeah, that's the funny part when I never really get to tell black folks this, because I don't think they'll listen. I'm like, you don't have to worry about them. Johnny, who makes your Starbucks every morning, the Irish dude, he secretly, he might have some rap CDs, but he's like, nope, I'm gonna stay right here. I'm gonna stay up in Manteca somewhere. You don't have to worry about him. It's the dude you have to worry about. That's like, hey buddy, how you doing? Open your house. I'm like, it's I'm staying in a different
you know
environment
what?
over here.
Thank you. That is so true. That is
They're
so
like, I'm trying
true.
to, hey, buddy, how you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Oh, that's a nice book. That's a nice movie. Sign this contract, and you just have to say on the road. And it's that person that wants to take advantage of you economically, not the person that wants to, that doesn't want you. There might be a little prejudice, but they don't. The person that wants you clear away from them, they're not worrying about you. They don't have time for.
Right. Right. They want you away. Yeah, they want you away. People who are really trying to hurt you, are doing that keep their enemies closer shit. They're trying to get into you. That's what I was saying, yes, about the advertisers, They are trying to get into your house, Tide wants to get in your house, Procter and Gamble, they're all trying to get in your house, and how are they going to do it? They're going to be like, hey you, you need this, don't you? You're too smart for all those other products. You need this one. This is the product for smart people, right? No matter what that fucking product does to you, no matter whatever locals they stole from in order to present this product, in order to steal from you, whatever environment they raped, whatever ground soil they're punishing, whatever, offshore drip that they're poisoning the ocean with. They don't want you to see all that. They just want to, like, sell you on the pretty parts, and then get into your house, and yeah, they're not gonna, like, yeah, they're not gonna be the same people that really, really, really don't want to be around you. Those people aren't gonna be around you because they don't want to be around you. Like I said, yeah, like if you didn't like peanut butter or crunchy peanut butter or whatever, and you went like you wouldn't go buy it and put it on the shelf and be like, look at that crunchy peanut butter, just sitting there all crunchy. Fuck that peanut butter. I hate you, peanut butter. Fuck you. And then go buy some more the next day. Like you're not gonna do that. You will not have it in your house. I like smooth peanut butter, so I'm gonna get the smooth peanut butter. That's what you're gonna do. That's what you're gonna have in your house. Um, yeah, I definitely agree that like people need to get their perspective a little bit better about this stuff and stop. I wish people would stop jumping on the sensational thing with the trolls and like, if it makes you think, like if somebody says something and it makes you think, that's cool, but you don't necessarily have to react as if you have to defend your life against, the comments of trolls or the views of racists 100 miles away. If some cross-burning, hood-wearing idiot is an idiot, that's it, and it's going to be that. Does that hoodie wearing cross burning idiot make any decisions that affect you? That's what you might need to know. Like if that person is making legislation, is that person a judge? Is that person a school teacher? That's what affects you. And then what affects you about that person isn't their whiteness. It's that person being an asshole and trying to affect circumstances surrounding your kids. You get in there. Like my daughter is going to a particular school. I will be at that school. I paid my PTE dues yesterday. I will be there at those meetings affecting that school. I'm not going to get on the bus and go across town and go to the inner city school because that's not the school that she goes to. But if it was, that's where I would be. And I suggest that those parents, that's where they need to be. And yeah, I think, you're doing a good thing in considering those parents and thinking like there's some people who are being left behind here and they need to be reached out to. And I'm trying, but they don't want to fucking hear my corny ass talk. So what exactly do? I hear you. Like when you're talking to I feel like we build a bridge in that way. Like when you talk to the ladies of the Wolfpack because, they're educated ladies, but they're also street, and so they have that street connection that they'll take their educated selves and communicate with people in the street, and then maybe those street people who can communicate with educated people who don't feel threatened by educated people will communicate with people who do feel threatened by educated people and bring themselves up. I feel like it's very much each one teach one around here, and that we are connected whether we like it or not. That's why I just kind of I fell into this nest, but I'm seeing good in it, like connecting with people like you, having conversations like this, or also connecting with people that I don't like, and taking on whatever that inspires me to do in terms of using my gifts to the best of my ability for myself and the people around me. I really don't mind if I'm spurred to do something positive by something negative happening. I think that's even part of what I was talking about with like the way I titled this hangout. It's something about just being spurred on by your reaction to something, taking that energy and using it wisely, because that's kind of how a lot of things get motivated. Sometimes we don't make things better until something shitty happens, because we kind of maybe are going about our day and we don't realize that the ugly shit's going on. So I found my friend on Facebook, Lauren Ewing. She said, I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I hate being the only black person at work. And this is a chick, this is in Los Angeles, and I wrote to her, I'm like, oh yeah, AKA the representative, and sent her a link to a video, that was funny. And then her mom said, been there, done that, so her mom even said, okay, this generations, okay, to understand that feeling, like, oh my God, I hate being the only black person, because sometimes people don't, and they, but,
well, you really ain't that bad,
No, but you're right. But yes, you're right in that. No, her hate being the only black person at work might be a communication thing. It might be just like you're like, oh, can I touch your hair type thing. Just some like ignorant, harmless shit that comes from people's like ignorance about each other. You're gonna come across people who are ignorant about you, but who don't necessarily want to hurt you. They're just ignorant about you. Accept that. That's gonna happen. Like. Being the only chick in a room full of guys, it's the same thing. You get the same effect. You can have a whole bunch of dudes talking, let a chick, put a chick in there, changes. Or a whole bunch of women talking and put a child in the room. Shifts the focus, shifts the perspective. or a whole bunch of women put a man in there. Oh God, have you ever seen that happen? We all turn into that. We all turn into that version of ourselves. That version of ourselves. you know, some women, really have a different way of acting when a man comes in the room, just like some men have a different way of acting when a woman comes in the room, just like some white people have a different way of acting when a black person comes in. Just like a black person, when the only white person in a room full of black people, some black people, might have a different way of, focusing their energy when they see a white person around. And for myself, yeah, I generally just like people that just don't have those kinds of hang-ups. Like my husband, when he came around my family, he was just as comfortable as he could possibly be. And when funny enough, going around his family, because I didn't know them, was uncomfortable and unsure, and like, they ain't got no hang-ups, do they? Ain't got any, we don't have any race issues? Oh, okay. Well, then I'll get used to, whatever I'm dealing with them.
I love the people. I love the people who, now you kind of tell if they haven't been around a few black, but they're interesting because they have all these questions. They're not hurtful or anything. It's just like,
right, like,
and I love it.
like, you're the representative today. Did somebody ask you their black questions?
I love it. And what I like to do sometimes is I was like, you know what? I show him a picture. I love my cousin Dee Dee. And I noticed this. I took notice this real quick. Now she's one of those, one of those people who look really, really white. You can't really tell that they're half black. It's like, I'll show them, it's like, here's my cousin, like this. And we're like,
I have a neighbor like that. My neighbor downstairs. She's a beautiful girl too, but she has a really exotic look. Like you can, she could tell me she's anything. I would believe her. But she's black. Her dad's black. Her mom's white.
she looks white. Hmm? Damn, this connection sucks because you're like this. Please. Hello? Hello? Oh, man. Look, I'm going to hang up and then I'm going to come right back, okay? And we have access. Oh, I think your connection came out, Jeannie.
Oh, oh, that's weird. Okay, that's funny. It like refreshed itself right there. Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, what I was saying about my neighbor was, yeah, that she's like, she gets funny looks when she brings out family pictures and stuff too, because like it's two sides, and there's many colors throughout, and her boyfriend, I'd say he's darker than you. Um, he's also, yeah, tall, handsome. He keeps his hair shaved, bald too, like gorgeous, looks like a model. And when they get together and have children, it will be interesting to see what happens, like what side takes over, because she's got a black father, dark, her mother's white and very pale, and she took after paleness. She's attracted to men who are very dark. So maybe when her and her man get together and have a baby, her baby, like, yeah, her family will look strange to people too. Um, so yeah, I think that's funny too. But I think like we can't help but expand our horizons. Like this is just the day that it is. I'm sorry. Like I know that we have all of our little groups and factions and tribes that are based on looks and aesthetics and heritage, but we also have those that aren't. We also hook up based on common interests, common goals, common struggles, or common desires. Just like I don't know. I like comic books, so I know a lot of people who like comic books, and there are a lot of different kinds of people who like comic books, so there's not gonna be any like one looking kind of person that likes comic books. So I'm okay with that. I feel like, yeah, we need to expand our horizons a little bit and understand that, like, you know, it's okay if you are not fitting in any box or any kind of cookie cutter of any kind, based on your
In the
sex or your
comments,
race or your region. Oh,
or
wait a minute,
D.
I can't hear you. That's weird. Did you mute yourself?
Can you hear me?
Let me see. My control panel.
No, my speaker's on.
Tried to turn you up, but I can't hear anything.
I'm here.
That's weird. I can see my thingy moving, and I know I can hear me, but I cannot hear you, and I can only see your face. Okay, well, okay, listen, let me do this anyway. Let me just take this as a sign from the universe that I need to shut the fuck up and get on with my day, because I have to go get my babe from school in a little bit. Okay?
Okay.
So, I will send you a link. Maybe I'll like try to like we can wrap it up with a realness like a little bit later on. I'll try and check out what's going on with TRS tonight. Maybe there'll be like a good jumping off point for finishing off the conversation. But I really appreciate this chat. This was good. Thank you for you know, always like being willing to speak your mind about things. You're welcome to disagree with me on any point whatsoever. We just so happen to agree on a lot of things, but I can see where we disagree too. I think that we disagree on a lot. It's just it isn't apparent because we aren't yelling at each other when we disagree. We're just talking, so that's good. So yes, we'll continue these talks, and you have a great afternoon. I'm sorry that whatever happened with the sound.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to talk to my friend Ayana about her dating experiences too. Yeah, I'll talk to a few people. So, connect my people's perspective with your people's perspective. Keep the conversation open. Keep
Yeah.
it flowing. Keep the healing happening. Okay? Because some of us are just really sick and in need of help. So, yeah, thank you for being one of the people willing to help, Freddie. And we'll talk to you later. All right?
Okay.
Peace out.
Bye.